I only have 4 ports on my GPU, so I don't have another spot to put it.
They actually sell adapters that you can connect the monitor via USB.
Trying to fucking recreate a scene from The Matrix, like hacking into some shit. Or what the fuck?
What do you mean,
I ended
bro?
up getting it for. I was at that demo spot for work, right? And there was a monitor that I just installed maybe 6 months ago. On this.
By the way, we're live.
But yeah. Okay, cool. So I was, real quick. So I was like, I was like, hey, I'm gonna take that. It's like a brand new monitor. It's nothing special. I wouldn't use it for gaming or whatever. But like to have it for have it be my Discord monitor and have just Discord on that one, and then have OBS on this one or whatever. Like, why not? Like, it's free. I'm not paying for it.
I'm telling you, you can go on Amazon, get like an adapter for like $3, maybe more. I don't know. I'm guessing.
It's as free as tabs. You can just keep stuff in tabs and tab back and forth.
No, because that's I don't want to do that. I want to literally just see it all right now.
Who do you think you are?
I was about to say, bro, I got 3 and I feel like I need more real estate. I don't know why.
What do you do when you got to go like all the way to the left? You go to the other monitor, and then all the way to the right, you go to the other one, up and down. You got every directional monitor.
He's got a Pac-Man that shit.
I do. It is far left and then up and down for the 2 here. So yeah,
I can't.
Really what it is.
I literally have one PC on one side, the other PC on the other side. It's just
I don't have another PC, so I still have real estate open.
Epion in the chat says, "Who are we pointing fingers at to why Iggy hurts so much?" We're gonna talk about that. What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of the Fall Partner Panel. How are you guys going? Sorry, we just kind of started off with a little random conversation we were having. I just decided to switch the live button. But yeah, we got, I think, quite a bit to talk about, quite frankly, because we saw a patch come out. Strange Matters is at Gamescom. We saw a couple posts out of them. I'll go ahead and put them up on the stream here shortly. But first, let's introduce ourselves. Now, we do have one of the new Vault partners. Shout out to the Senor Wolfie in the chat. Go ahead and introduce yourself, cut.
Hi guys, Mike Wolfie. You guys probably see me wearing the wolf hat or the wolf onesie on stream. Thanks to my chat. But yeah, I'm new to partner. Definitely something different for me. Interesting for me too. I'm still adjusting and learning how to do it. But yeah, that's about it.
Oh man, appreciate you being here.
The onesie, is it shaped like a wolf or is it for a wolf and you're wearing it? Wolf's onesie.
What kind of question is that shit?
Oh no,
it's all semantics. We're being pedantic. And I'm being the Mangoose. What's up, everybody? You know me from my YouTube channel and blah, blah, blah. And it's pee-pee time. Speaking of big old dicks, Bearded Wolverine, why don't you introduce yourself?
Oh man.
I don't know if that's a compliment or if that's throwing shade at me.
I don't know either.
What's going on, everybody? I'm the Bearded Wolverine, the Michigan Wonder, and a Fall Partner. Excited to get this one here. I'm happy to have Wolfie with us. And Windu, when Goose said, a onesie for a wolf, I was definitely thinking Star Wars. When they had to hide inside that what animal was that? I can't think of it.
The Tauntaun?
Yeah. Yeah, they had to hide in that.
That's throwback, bro.
It's a Tauntaun onesie right there.
That's okay.
We're already off the rails.
Oh, bro, we haven't even got like 4 sentences in. Holy shit. All right. Did you even introduce yourself? Because that's totally fucking. Oh, okay. All right, my turn. But
then I brought you into the conversation, hand it off to you, and you totally fumbled it. But okay, let's go.
Windu. No comment. Anyway, so I'm definitely not starting a football chat right now. That shit's gonna go on forever. But what's up, guys?
Let's go.
Fucking can't. So what's up, guys? I am Windu, also known as WinduTheMace. I make everything from MOBA content, strategy, a little bit of racing here and there. Just uploaded a go-kart video not too long ago. Y'all should check that shit out, by the way.
Nice.
That shit was lit, bro. I've always wanted to do that. Bro, what do you mean?
That last guy in front of you, like you literally just like you were ready to pass him, and then whatever happened that stops the, you know, I won't go too far, like make people watch it, but like whatever happened,
The situation
that happened that made everybody stop.
Bro, it messed up the race. It messed up the race, bro.
You were gonna pass whoever that was in front of you. It was easy to tell, but then that got away. So
right, it was rough. Yes, but I mean, I'll be real with you. Where I'm gonna leave the patch here a little bit more towards the middle of everything. I kind of want to go straight into Twitter posts, quite frankly, right? Because last week we went over the fact that we didn't really get much out of Strange Matters. You know, like we're like, hey, like they're quiet. We literally got nothing at all, right? So now
jump into that. I'm sorry to cut you off. I know we do that a lot, but before we jump into that, can we, if we're just going to start going into like talk about that, then we're going to go into the patch.
Yeah, what's up?
Let's just take this time right now and have Wolfie, you know, talk to him about how he became partner, what he is as a streamer, and kind of go over that little introduction situation. Let's do that.
Okay. I started streaming Fault in January. Started streaming it consistently. I was there when it first came out. Didn't really like what I saw, so I kind of left off from it. But January, I saw some like serious changes, so that's when I started diving into it. And I literally just streamed, and I noticed that the game is very competitive and very sweaty. So I was like, no, how about I stream and I bring a little bit of fun to it, act like an idiot, try to get some people to relax and calm down.
Oh, so you're acting.
Yeah, it's all shit. It's all
He is boiling inside.
I always get pentakills. It's not a problem. I fake that I can all the time. But it was just like, you know, let's bring a little bit of fun to it. So that's what I try to stay around there. Don't get me. Fault gets under my skin. I think the way that like Gears of War 2 or Gears of War 1 used to get under my skin, like back in the pre-teenage, it gets to me in some points. But it's just started streaming from there. And it kind of just grew up to be, you know, you get known in the community, people start throwing your name around. And now here I am just doing, this is my first official like partnering with other content creators, which is always nice to see that from here. And you guys being able to just invite me on, bring me on, and you know, it's a real honor. I've been a big fan of the show, as well as for Magus for the Minions too.
Appreciate it, homie. All right, everybody go follow this man. Man's way too humble.
You played you said you played Paragon, right? But you said you joined Paragon late.
When I played Paragon, it was about 8 months before it was going to get shut down, and I didn't know how to play a MOBA. I only played Chimera, and I was like, all right, realistically, there's 3 lanes, right? So I'm like, oh, there's one guy on this lane by himself against 2 people. I'm going to go with this guy. He needs help. And I didn't realize that jungling was a whole aspect of MOBAs.
Nice. There you go. Okay.
I did play some Paragon, yeah, but not too much to get familiar with it.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, welcome to being part of the partner crew.
Thank you.
And we're definitely excited to have you on here. So we'll see how you do if we invite you back for another one. But you know,
judgment's still there.
High standards.
Yo, what's your favorite hero? Favorite hero? I gotta ask. Damn, bro, it's like that.
Yeah, we have Windu on here all the time. So,
bro, you should have seen me last week. I was off the rails last week. I know what Mangoose feels like. I was off the rails for sure. But what was your favorite hero?
For me, back in Paragon or now?
Main.
And
Sev main.
Let's say both.
I'm just totally guessing Sev main.
I do like Linkin Park a lot, so I do listen and play Sev all the time, listening to just Numb over and over on repeat. It's still, he's one of those characters on Fault that is so, like, he's got that big skill gap, and I've yet to achieve it. I really am trying to get there, but I have him halfway to master now, and I'm still trying to figure it out.
All right, but who is your favorite?
I would say Sev, yeah.
So, okay. Oh, I was right. All right.
Pretty sure.
You were just
interesting. Yo, Sev is fun as hell to play. Like when you start getting those stacks, bro, it's such a satisfying feeling. It really is, bro.
Yeah. Every time you stack a hero, you get just like a quick shot of dopamine. And you're just like, yes, I stacked him. I'm getting better.
It's a rush, bro.
So, you know me, and you know I talk on the partner panel how I watch Gen Chat a lot, right? And going through Gen Chat and seeing some other things that people say, people are saying that Sev, especially out of the jungle / solo laners, he's kind of lacking in his spots. Would you agree with that?
I would say It's definitely a learning curve. The fact that last hitting minions used to be harder, but because of this patch, it makes it a little bit easier. As well as they are making some changes to make it easier. That the most recent change I think they made it was that it starts out at 6 seconds no matter what the cooldown on the siphon, and it's a little bit longer and wider. Definitely helped. But in my eyes, if I was to make a change, I would say just regular last hits on minions should give you 1 stack, and then siphons should just give you 2. All the other abilities, you could take those out for like balancing reasons, but that's a big gripe. I know me and my community, we go back and forth about what we should do and how we should work in, but
I actually don't, I always wonder that, because stacking for me is, I'm just straight ass with it. That's why you probably see I have like 2 games with Sev, because I just can't stack. It's really bad. I haven't played since all these updates where they made it a little easier with you, but I kind of like that idea. The other big people who are into the game and how well it can be or whatever, they can, just, battle that for sure. But I kind of like you're just getting 1. And if that's still a big deal to them, what if you get like a half a stack for actually just a normal last hit? And then that way you're still getting something, you're not just because that to me is the hardest part, is like, all right, I think I'm trying to cleave them and I don't want to kill this one with a hit, so I want to like try to get them both, so when I drop it, like, all right, sweet, got it. And it's like, then you drop it and then they don't die. I'm like, well, shit.
I have a couple clips of me getting into team fights and missing all of my siphons to get stacks on enemy heroes. I could have gotten I think it was like 80 to 90 stacks in one team fight. I just missed them all. If I got but I hit them with my hammer. So I was like, maybe if you gave me like 8 stacks instead of 16 on an enemy hero, that'd be great. But no, it's up to SNS. So.
I mean, I think one thing I discovered recently about Sevrog's siphon ability is that it's directional, in that if you aim it low, the hand will actually go low and you get less reach out of that hand than you would normally. Whereas with Predecessor and OverPrime, it just follows the environment, so you always get the same range.
It's directional.
I noticed this. Yes, while I was doing my comparison videos, and I noticed you never see the actual creepy hand come out on Sev in Fault, or at least I don't. It's because when you're clearing minions, you're looking straight down at them, and the hand goes down into the ground. Like I'm watching slow mo and shit.
So did you like aim it up and then the hand went up or some shit? Like
when I was aiming upwards, then I saw the hand. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If you don't have it on quick cast, you see the actual pathing of the ability, but you may be right where you aim might actually affect the range of it. You might be aiming that range into the floor.
It might just be a visual thing, but it certainly seems to me, when I've been practicing on Sev, that sometimes that siphon goes much further than other times whenever I'm trying to farm with them. But
interesting.
It's probably just me.
I'd love to get that confirmed in the chat.
Stick around with him in AI to try and get better with Sev, because I think he is a really cool character and an awesome jungler if you can get him down pat. But man, it is so hard. It is so hard at first, like the first couple minutes of the game.
I'll tell you what, I still think he's the best tank in the game. Not even a Greystone. Just because of the scaling. Like if you I've gone green Sev jungle. And here's the thing, when you play Sev, you got 1 out of 2 players. Somebody that gets crazy, like full stacks in 20 minutes or less, like the cracked out Sev is like, I don't even know how the fuck that man's got shoulders already. Or you end up with, what I usually end up with is like, bro, the game fucking ended. I'm on baby shoulders still.
Yeah. But it's rough.
But I will say but that alone lets me know that there's just a huge skill gap to it, Like I saw somebody go full stacks in 16 minutes. That was a absolutely cracked game, bro. I'm talking about every single kill he used siphon, every objective he used siphon, like flawless. And I literally watched that shit and I was like, yeah, I have no competition. I'm no competition. I can't do that shit. The fastest I've ever done that shit is like 26 minutes, and that was a lucky game. So there really is a big skill difference there. But if and let's hold off on the skill difference thing, because I do want to talk about Iggy and Richter getting introduced again. But we'll leave that conversation for the patch notes.
So Wolfie, if anybody here that's in chat that is not normal one of your viewers, what are they going to see if they come to your stream?
Unfortunately, you'll see me probably in a wolf hat. My chat likes to meme me with that. You'll see me playing a lot of solo lane. I am a solo lane mainer. I am trying to get better with heroes I'm not familiar with. But yeah, it's mainly more about just kind of enjoying each other, having fun, getting to know people in the community too, not just me. I try to keep my community kind of under wraps and like not toxic as much as possible, which it can be a little difficult sometimes, but my mods help me with that. But if you come by my stream, it's usually fun, laughs, and that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. So you said you're a solo main. What are your opinions on ranged solo laners?
When I'm the ranged solo main, solo laner, I feel bad. I feel terrible for doing and abusing somebody. When they're against me, I have nothing but hate for them. You'll see me on stream. I'll be like, I hope this guy stubs his toe when he walks into furniture, or this guy puts his feet in the wrong shoes because he's an idiot and he has no idea what he's doing. I can't tell you how many Morgash offlanes I fight that drive me nuts. Yeah, as far as the ranged, I would say it doesn't tend to work out endgame. I feel like endgame, you need to have that tank.
Yes.
Having like someone like Morgash is nice, but it's not. I'd rather have a tank than another damage dealer.
Yeah, if you don't get ahead, it costs your team for sure.
That tank.
Yeah, it can definitely hurt.
Right. So I'm completely on the side with you. So when the times that ADC main, right? So I'm always in the dual lane. But if I ever get put over the solo lane, I purposely, just because I don't like ranged solo laners, I purposely just go. And unless for some reason I'm last pick and I can tell I'm going against the range solo lane, then I'll try to counter with another range. But I try to just go, melee, whoever I'm picking, in that situation.
What I've noticed for the solo lane, sorry to cut you off.
You're good.
Is armor scales faster than damage. So
yeah.
I can get an 800. I forgot the name of the item. It's 800, but it's like 40 armor. And they will get a damage item that'll only give them 25 power. So like you'll find yourself tanking them before they get the damage. Now end game, that's where their damage gets to a point where it's nothing you can do. Right. So that's why I prefer the tanks, is because you also scale faster than your opponent.
Okay.
Realistically.
I mean,
for those
things
who
are
don't
needed.
know, just let everybody know that I did post Wolfie's Twitch link in chat right now. So you can go ahead and click that, give him a follow. And we will also leave that in the description down below on the YouTube version, so you guys can follow him there for those who watch on YouTube.
Spicy. Completely forgot what we were talking about, right?
I think we're going to go on to the Twitter post now.
Heard. So I don't know, like we kind of got onto Strange Matters.
Wolfie, need that TikTok link.
Oh, and you got a TikTok link?
Yep.
Oh, you might not go over there. It's scary.
I can't. But no, so we saw it last week.
I'm talking to Wolf right now. I think I can handle it.
Jeez. So we saw last week that Strange Matters literally posted nothing. This past week, they've been a little bit more active. Now, we know that the patch actually got dropped very last minute, very subtly, and then they actually posted about it on Twitter and all socials. I want to say the day after. I could be wrong on that. Right? So let me ask you guys, just off of that right there, what are your thoughts on the fact that they actually released the patch and didn't post anything about it until the day after?
That patch came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Where you going? Nowhere.
I'll let you guys talk
nowhere. I mean, I don't know, bro. Like, I'll be real with you, just being 100% honest. I think that regardless of what was going on, there's no reason that any social media should have been ignored. Like, we live in a day and age that I can schedule a Twitter post 3 months in advance. I can literally be like, hey, if we want this shit to go out on this specific Friday, I can have a post per day scheduled months in advance. So personally, I don't see any reason, any excuse, whatever words you want to say, as to why there was no notification, why there was no post, why there wasn't any communication. I think that was a big drop of the ball, as Senor Bearded would say. And
fumble.
Sure, okay. You're used to that word, right? Anyway, Michigan.
Yeah, because I watch those Florida games. Their hands are fucking full of Gatorade. Can't hold on shit.
I fucking can't, bro. Okay, we're not starting this anyway. So, yeah, man. I really. The only thing I can say is shoulda, coulda, woulda, because there's no excuse not to have the communication. I'll let you guys throw your 2 cents.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I mean, if it comes down to patch or no patch, I'll take patch every fucking time. Like, I'm glad they released it. I'm glad it's out there. I'm glad it's in the community's hands. I just really don't understand why it wasn't hyped up at all. Like, I know they were like in transit and shit, but there's fucking internet everywhere. Like, it doesn't take much to put something, fucking slap some shit together on your phone and fucking send it on out there. Again, a bit of a weird opportunity to miss. Like, if they're going to be at Gamescom, why not hype this release of Iggy up prior to Gamescom if they're planning to get anything done at Gamescom, which I don't think any. I mean, we had two of the pair zombies go to Gamescom. I don't think either one of them really got much done there as far as advancement of the popularity of their game. But it's cool that they went, and hopefully they got some other stuff done. But yeah, this patch could have been that popularity for them. They've been losing steam steadily since the free release, and this could have definitely picked that up for them. It's kind of weird that they haven't. But like I said, again, 6 months from now, we're not going to fucking remember this shit.
Yeah,
like it's not that big of a deal. So
I would say there's two reasons why I think the patch came out the way it did. One, they wanted to release Iggy sooner, but they ran into some issues. They probably wanted to release it sometime around the free to play, keep the hype train going. They might have ran into some issues, and that would set them back because I think it was almost 5 weeks before from free to play to when Iggy came out. Or two, they were going to save Iggy for Gamescom, but they might have felt pressured by the community. And they probably started looking at the Steam numbers, like Magu said, and were like, we're starting to lose a little bit here. Maybe we pump something out, get those numbers back up, get the love back. Because I don't mind. You don't have to hype up every patch that you want to put out. But when you go free to play and then there's nothing, that's kind of like a missed opportunity for me. So I think that they could have, like I said, it's one of those two possibilities.
All right. So I agree with you. You don't want to hype up every patch. Look at 17.1 and 17.2, trash patches, in my opinion. Obviously, they were needed. There were things in there, but those are things you don't want to hype up. 100%. There's nothing there to hype up. We're not going to get excited about those. Get it. A hero patch. When the middle number changes, that's what they consider a big patch, right? It's not the big patch, which is going to be the first number changing. That middle number changing, that's going to be the one you're going to want to hype up, right? And if we're going with that latter option of looking at Steam numbers and want to get those Steam numbers increased, you're going to get it increased by hyping up that patch, not just by releasing a patch. You go to that patch on Steam right now and show me where on that Steam patch where you look like, oh look, there's a new hero. Nothing on there says, hey, there's a new hero here. There's not a picture of Iggy, nothing. Like, we got nothing there's nothing hyping this patch up. All right. So they're definitely missing. If it is that latter option, totally missing. Right. Yeah. Now, going off of what Goose and Windu said, missed opportunity, strongly missed opportunity. And if we're going, all right, let's say, or we know that Ryan Red and Balix are the two that are at Gamescom right now. We also know that Ryan Red and Balix are the two that run social media. All right. So there's your issue. Okay, that is your issue, that we got no hype in this situation. The two that are traveling this week are gone, and they're the two that do the social media. All right. So what does that tell me? That tells me that we need a third person that has the ability to run social media, whether just making a post or not. They need to have the login information and the password to be able to get on the socials and make these posts, and not have to wait a day later to make a post. Hey, patch went live, right?
Or just remember the 7 Ps, brother. Prior proper planning prevents piss poor performances.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
yes, exactly.
Shit. I haven't heard that shit in a while.
Right.
God damn.
Yeah, right. Yeah, remember that's another thing too. Like, in the thing, I don't know. It's just the picture that was used with the announcement in Discord of Iggy sitting there relaxing on Scorch. I think it's an actual think it's either an emote or it's the go backing animation, one of the two. I don't know which one it is for sure, but that picture could have been used 2 days before this to hype up Iggy, just to kind of like, hey, post it, hey guys, hero coming soon. And you don't have to give a date. Just say hero coming soon. If you're still working on things, hero coming soon. We all know it's Iggy, and but it's still going to generate the hype. People are, okay, hey, he's finally. We know he's now finally around the corner, because that day, if I'm talking about the 2 days before the patch, we had no clue when he was coming. We know he's coming. We have no clue when. But if you tell us that, hey, he's coming soon. All right, we're finally hearing something from him. We're getting something. All you had to do is post that. And guess what? If you post that 2 days before, that partner panel, we're not sitting there complaining for 3 weeks in a row of no communication. That's communication.
Yeah.
All right, we got something.
We didn't even get a trailer. Like,
we got
everybody
nothing.
else. Like, this is such a polarizing, well-loved hero that they could have capitalized so hardcore on.
100%.
And they just
100%.
didn't. They just didn't. And it's only, like I said, again, 6 months from now, and then like their community 6 months from now, we're going to remember this happened, but nobody else is, right? So it doesn't matter that much, not really. But they could have picked up so many more people by hyping up Iggy and Scorch a little bit, and it's frustrating for us as partners because we want the companies to succeed, and we constantly see themselves getting in their own way. Like I understand that they may not have known when they could drop the patch when everything would have been fixed, but they could have had the social media posts ready to go to where all you had to do was hit public and bam, it's up. And you could do that from anywhere. You could do that from a fucking airplane. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Like it's not that fucking hard to do if
plan
for it properly.
International airplanes do have Wi-Fi. Confirmed.
So it's the missed opportunities, and you're right. We're not like, we as a community though. Yes, we will remember it because we sit here and we talk about it, right? But like as a community as a whole, you're right. We're not going to remember this 6 months from now. But for a company that is having issues growing a player base and keeping a player base, every little bit counts. Speaking of football, go back to Varsity Blues. There's a song, "Every Little Thing Counts." They play it during the hype up song. We're during the games, right? And it's great. But that's what this literally is. This situation, like every little bit counts. Like, why would you not take that chance? And it's not like I'm not asking for a dev stream for you to go over and break down his hero stats. I'm not asking for that. Just give us a little bit. Like, hey, here's something. Here's this.
I just thought of the perfect analogy for this. If anybody's ever talked to me about YouTube, I always tell you that it doesn't matter how great your content is. If your thumbnails suck, nobody's ever going to look at that content, and they're not. And then the content is what gets them to stick around. The thumbnail brings them in, or the title or whatever brings them in, and then the content is what hooks them, makes them subscribe and stay. They're putting out content with no thumbnail right now. That's what they're doing.
100%.
Great point. Yeah.
100%. And that's why I stick with TikToks. There's no thumbnails, so I'm good.
I'm with you, bro.
You get your fix and then you get out.
I also just looked at the game again, and the Dark Side Gideon is still on the front page. That's a huge missed opportunity too, because you know how many people got into the game, didn't even realize Iggy was in the game because they didn't read the patch notes. They just booted up the game, chilling.
Yep. Wait, Iggy's in this game? Iggy's in? Like,
where the fuck did he come from?
Yep.
Like, even just having him front page, I can't. Even just having him front page with that chicken skin or whatever the hell, right? Like, that's an opportunity. That's something that could have been scheduled with the patch. I'm really curious why they chose not to do it. Because honestly, at this point, if something doesn't get done, I'm going to consider it a choice. I don't know if that's too harsh. I don't think so, personally. But if there's a missed opportunity, I'm going to consider it a choice. And the question is, why did they make that choice, right? But I don't know, man. Like, I'm happy Iggy got added. Again, we're going to go into that a little bit later. But I'll put it up on the screen also for those of you watching video-wise. They literally say, last night, we released patch 0.18.0 that contains our latest hero, Iggy and Scorch. We added support for multiple languages, re-enabled Richter, and much more. Check out the notes here. And, I mean, to each his own. And we're gonna come back to the patch notes. I want to show some of the other stuff that they've actually shared. So they also did share that and I quote, "We went to check out our booth, was how our booth was coming along for Gamescom. We'll have everything set up come Wednesday. So come find us in the business area, Hall 3.2 in the Canada, Quebec section. Give us your in-game name and be granted an exclusive Gamescom 2022 Lieutenant Bellica skin and the hashtag Gamescom avatar in the game." So there's going to be a Gamescom avatar. And then they showed a couple pictures here. They showed like their little desk booth looking thing. That kind of looks cool. They showed the Bellica skin. Yo, this Bellica skin I like. It's a simple color scheme, but I like.
It's dope. I like it because I mean it matches the German flag's colors. But it does so subtly. I really like this Bellica skin. I'm sad that I'm not going to be able to get it.
Bro, actually, do we know if partners get it? Out of curiosity,
I don't know. I don't know.
You imagine?
Pull our strings,
right? It's like, hey, help a brother out, And then they show this Gamescom picture. I'm assuming this might be the avatar that they're referring to, unless there's a different one. We'll see.
That would be my guess.
But
it's included in there. That'd be my guess with it. But if it does change, I'd understand.
Well, yeah, I'm not mad at this. And then they even commented in there, "We have a few hats for you too, but not many. So first come, first serve." So they even gave away the fault hats there. Like, that's dope. I kind of wish they would have advertised that even a little bit sooner. You get me? Like, people that weren't planning on going to Gamescom now kind of have a reason. Is like, yo, I get a Bellica skin and I might get a hat. I might actually go out of my way. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this. I get it. I mean, I'm all about free hats, right? But the hats they have right now are the hat you're wearing.
Okay.
And the hat you're wearing is
Gen 1.
It's Gen 1. It's Gen 1, the right logo. So if you're going to Gamescom and you don't know what fault is, and you're going there like, hey, I want to go get it. I'll get a hat. Like, you get a hat for a logo of something that's not. This isn't the logo. You know, like, is that like? Are you I don't know. It's different, isn't it? Like, am I wrong for thinking this way or no?
You're grandfathered in if you have the OG hat, I think.
Well, yes, but I mean, but for the people who don't even know, who haven't even played Fall yet, they're just like, oh, I got a hat from this guy. This Redbeard guy gave me this thing. I don't know.
Wait, what does the booth have? Bring that booth back.
The booth had the new stuff. That's what I said. The booth had
it had the new
logo.
stuff.
It even says Fault Elder Orb on it on the booth.
Oh my god!
But
so
that the hat has this like under halo.
So you know what would have been cool?
In Fault anymore.
It would have been cool if they just teased it a week in advance at least or something, and then be like, hey, if you guys show up and I don't know, just mention this specific phrase, we're gonna know you're one of the OGs. You've been following us for a while. You get a reward, an OG hat. You get me? That doesn't mean they have to have them out and they're giving them away to randoms. They could have that shit behind the shelf and be like, hey, I play the game. I've been playing since this long. This is for you, cuh. You know?
Right. Yeah, if they told us earlier, I would have gone and then taken the hat and sold it for an NFT or something. Just get some collector's item to just make to get a nice idea of what the game is. I'll learn what the game is later, but at least I get this hat I can resell.
I can't. In general, like, I saw people from the Germany area that were like, yo, I wasn't gonna go, but then I found out that they were gonna be there officially with a booth, and they said, hey, stop by, you get a skin, you get an avatar, might get a hat, and they're like, you know what, I'm gonna try and stop by. I'll probably see them throughout. I'm pretty sure Dater went through and showed some love, so shout out to the homie. Or he's going through on Saturday, I think he said.
Yeah.
But
the 28th, so he's still rocking it.
But in general, dope post. I would have liked to seen it a little bit earlier, quite frankly. That's just me though. Then after that, we do see basically just an update post. Hold up.
What do you mean by earlier? I'm confused because I think the post is good. I don't know. Like, what do you mean by you like to see it earlier?
So the post is good, but they easily could have stretched that out into a couple different posts leading up to it, right?
Okay.
I'd be like, hey, find us at Gamescom. You'll be able to get this avatar. Okay, spicy. 2 days later, Hey, and if you go to Gamescom, we'll know you're a real OG. We're gonna give you a Gamescom unique skin. Okay, that's what's up. Okay, the day before the official post mentioning everything in their location, you know what? Since we like you guys, the first 20 people are gonna get the OG hats. Just because it's you. You know what I'm saying?
SMS, if you're watching, twitch.tv/WinduTheMace for your marketer right there.
I can't with you, bro. I can't with you. But no, and then you got an overall post.
It should have been early enough for people to make plans. Yeah, I get you.
Because here's the thing, people can't even request
like a weekend away. You're never gonna make it.
People can't request off work usually if you don't have at least 2 weeks.
Right, and that's the reason I asked that is it to me that post is all about showing off the booth, right? And if you do it the way you did it, I could 100% agree with you. Yes, that would have been a great way to do it, but you can't, like like I said, that post there is the booth post, right? So put in the other two in a week before or whatever. Yes, 100% agree with you, and definitely would have been a better way to do it, and would have hyped up Gamescom a little bit more.
Yeah,
but again, this is
missed opportunity.
This is gonna be my theme though for this, is that nobody's gonna care in 6 months. Nobody's gonna care. Like Gamescom wasn't that big of a deal, I don't think. It hasn't been that I know of. I guess that's
like impactful wise.
Yeah, really been all that impactful.
I haven't seen anything on it. Like I was expecting to see more. I was expecting to see like, hey, watch our game, like the PlayStation. You know, when PlayStation does their yearly release or whatever. Like I was expecting something like that, like a video, like hey, like some streamers can stream this right now. I've yet to see anything on it. I was
expecting to see a compilation of all the games that were at Gamescom. I would.
Yeah. I mean, it's still going on, so technically it still could happen. But like I was expecting a whole big thing on this, but nothing. So I don't know.
You know, maybe who knows? They can turn it on the flip side for them. Be like, hey, we, our conventions are one of those things you had to be there to experience them. You could have gotten a free hat and a new skin, and you know, like the fact that they're not marketing might be the draw of like, hey, I can't miss this one because the last one I heard about was amazing and I missed out completely. They could spin it like that.
I mean, and that's fine. You're not wrong with a situation for SMS, but I'm talking about Gamescom in general. Like Gamescom is supposed to be an in-person con, right? But also there's supposed to be an internet version for people who aren't able to make it. They're able to watch stuff that's going on as well,
like TwitchCon or E3.
You know, so then you see that that's why I referenced the PlayStation like yearly like release. Like here we go. Here's the games coming out for 2023, and you know it's all this big old hype thing, you know, and you got streamers that watch it and their viewers are sitting there, oh man, let's talk about this game, let's talk about that game. Like that's what I was kind of hoping that Gamescom would be like. Here we go, this is, you know, first we're talking about the big AAA games that are coming out in 2023. All right, well, hey, here's our indie dev version that we got right now, and then like, you know, you would have saw Predecessor and Fault in there, you know, and then we could have hyped up Fault and like, oh yeah, look at that, there we are, yo, and then we would have saw that, and then that would have been advertisement for anybody else. Let's say Jimbo, who's streaming, that doesn't play Fault, he's watching that and he sees, wait a minute, I used to play Paragon, what is this Fault that he's talking about, you know? And then now he's googling Fault, and next thing you know, we got Jimbo, a streamer, he's now playing Fault because he saw it on Gamescom. That's what I was kind of expecting the internet version to be, and I've yet to see or hear anything about that.
I don't know, maybe like you said, maybe there's still time, maybe they'll show up on some post. I'm actually going to play on stream really quick an interview that, you know, somebody came by. I'm not even going to try and pronounce this Twitter page because I'm probably going to butcher that shit because it's definitely not my language or one of my languages. But they basically just tag Fault Elder Orb, Strange Matter, and Ryan Red. And they basically say, hey, game presentation. Now, I am actually going to play this out loud. Hopefully stream will be able to hear this.
Hello everybody, my name is Brian Red. I am the community manager and PR director for Fault Elder Orb. We are a PvP MOBA game where 5 people go up against 5 other people to try to destroy each other's base and claim victory and glory. We have been on our early access for 2 years on Steam, fine-tuning our game to ensure that it kind of meets the standards we really wanted to before making it free to play. And July 18th in 2022, we launched free to play on Epic Games, so we are now on Steam and Epic Games, both free to play completely. We have some big plans coming up for esports and some other things, but we're here at Gamescom to kind of make connections, meet publishers, meet investors, meet everybody we can to get to the next stage of our game. And we are very, very excited. Our community is very, very excited and eager to meet new players. And our esports groups and our esports teams that are already forming are looking for new competition. They really want to see some new players come in. So if you think you have what it takes, come in and see if you can beat them. Thank you.
All right.
Hello, everybody. My name is...
That was pretty much it right there. I don't know if you guys were able to kind of pull that up and hear it, or if you watched it prior to. But
I was not expecting that voice out of a guy with hand tats.
Poor
gosh, bro. Poor Ryan. But no, I mean, I overanalyzed that video by all means. I don't know if you guys did. I for damn sure overanalyzed a lot of that video. What do you guys?
Before we go into that,
Yeah. Okay.
I watching that video now on stream here and seeing what was going on in that video in the background. Another missed opportunity. They could have created a video and had a little teaser of the next hero. You know, that you just would have saw maybe an ability like that come through the fog wall, kind of like what Predecessor did with Richter, you know, but that was an obviously one, like, but so to have something come through the fog wall or whatever, like wait a minute, and then, but it'd be something little egg, what was that, Easter egg, and it's like if you're watching that video while Ryan's talking, you're like, oh wait, did you see this? And then you make people go back and watch it, and then now that Twitter post is just getting so many views. You just kind of get like another missed opportunity.
That seemed really off the cuff though, right there. I don't think that was planned at all.
But that video is playing. That was not. Sorry, you're right. The interview is off the cuff, but that video is not off the cuff. That video is playing behind them the whole time they're there.
Yeah,
I'm
but
assuming.
we don't know what all has been played in that video. We just watched 15 seconds of whatever they've had on that screen. You know what
Correct.
I mean? There's absolutely no way we can know what they had on there. Seems like they just had the competitive play when she was kind of referring to.
To me, it looked like it was the
free-to-play trailer.
Free-to-play trailer is what it looked like to me.
Well, what was shown in that video at least was the free-to-play trailer, just being looped, basically.
Also, it looked like they were set up in a mall food court. Like that didn't seem.
So
There was a fucking coffee machine behind them. People were like going for coffee.
That's their coffee machine.
That's their coffee machine. Yeah, which I will show on the stream. I actually called them out. I was like, bro, hey man, show me what you got in that table, cuz. And they actually shared pictures and the video and shit. I'll show that on stream. But
maybe it's not. Maybe it's that group. Whoever's in that 3.2 section. Maybe it's their coffee machine. But like, yeah, that's their it's for them to use.
I don't know. I think the biggest. Let's talk about the bomb here. Let's talk about the biggest thing.
Yeah, bring it out, Goose. Let's go.
He said that they're looking for investors.
no.
Yeah, I picked up on.
He said
that.
they
did
were
not.
Meeting. Said they were meeting investors.
They said
and investors.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then that's even something more. They're meeting publishers and investors.
Well, I think at an event like that, it's going to be hard not to run into people. Like if you're at an event like that, and let's just say it even is a sitting area, right? Where you go to chill out, or next to a sitting area is what it really looks like, right? So even if you're at an event like that, I think it's literally almost impossible to not have somebody interested in, hey, is there an investment opportunity? And they don't have to be a fucking whale. You get me? But is there an investment opportunity? Do you guys have marketing for this game? Do you guys have publishing for this game? Like, what is your structure like? What are you like as a business? Like, you get me? Like, people that are wanting to make money in video games, I can easily see them approach. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to accept anything, right? They're just mentioning the fact that they're meeting with fans or meeting with, like developers, like they're talking to publishers, developers, investors. They're talking to all of them because there's going to be people that walk up and want to do something. It doesn't mean that they will, right?
Right. Now looking for investors.
Probably because they already ran into a couple.
But why even say anything during this video if you're not interested in interacting with investors and publishers?
I wouldn't make that public knowledge. I'd put that as like a secondary motive for going to the con to begin with. The fact that like you put it out there kind of is a little off to me. But I mean, you are right, Windu. It's like people, if you go to these conventions, there's going to be investors and people there. You're going to run into them. But I don't know. I did find it was weird that he mentioned it like as it was like one of the main things as to why they went.
Well, as like I'll tell you from somebody that goes to yearly conventions and participates. Like for example, I help out in like an American Legion convention here in Orlando every single year. Right? If you don't know what that is, Google it. But basically, sometimes, first of all, location wise, you literally show up that year and they'll be like, hey, this year you're on wing B, bro. This year you're all the way by the fucking Starbucks. Like you literally get assigned spots, right? So it's not even, and typically it goes based off of importance. The bigger company you are, the better spot you get, right? So them being a small indie company that not many people might know about, I'm not surprised that they got like a little booth in a corner. Like that's, for me, that was to be expected. So I'm not even gonna diss them for that one. But I will say, man, I totally could see, because just based off of the video, this looks like somebody walked up to Ryan and wanted to hit the record button, right?
Right.
For their Twitter. And I could see that it wasn't a rehearsed speech. I could see he was just kind of going off the cuff. And if he's literally just started mentioning of people he's talking to, I could totally see him being like, hey, we've already talked to investors. We've already talked, like somebody wanting to invest. We've talked to somebody that was just a gamer loving the game. We've talked to a few people interested in the game. We've gotten the pleasure of meeting a publisher or two. Like I could easily see him just jotting that shit down because he's on the spot. He's like, what the fuck do I say? Like, you know, like we're here, we're talking to all these people. That makes us legit. That doesn't mean we're accepting anything, you know?
So I disagree with that situation, what you're saying, because this is Ryan Red we're talking about. Ryan Red's the guy who will gladly tell you that we are a community funded game, community led game. You know, we're all about the community. So if we're all about the community, like, you know, sit there talking about investors is not the greatest thing to talk about, unless the one thing that you're trying to put out there when you're saying that you are meeting investors is just the fact that you're trying to let everybody know that our game is hot shit enough that investors are interested.
I think that's exactly it.
One thing, if that's the one thing you're trying to get out there, but you need to put that, in my opinion, yes, that can be what is trying to be said there. But if that's what you're trying to say, you need to come out and actually just say it. Like, our game's doing pretty well. We got investors interested.
Yeah, that would have been a lot better, because I 100% look at this, and I'm pretty sure I'm not alone when I hear that.
No, you're not. You're not. You are not the
thinking,
only one to say that.
He just said that they're looking for investors.
Yeah, I've had people coming straight into the Twitch chat saying, yo, did you hear Strange Matter is talking to investors or trying to get investors for the game? And I'm like, no, bro, I know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. That's like, you're jumping to a conclusion here. I get it, but it's still jumping to a conclusion.
You still haven't convinced me that they're not. And Real Easy also makes a great point. What fucking...
Oh yeah, we'll get to that too. We'll get to that too. But like the only thing I'm saying, and I'm not 100% convinced either, Goose. I'm there with you. I'm just saying that the statement of looking for investors and meeting with investors is a completely different sentence. Just because you're meeting with somebody doesn't mean it's going to happen. Looking means like, hey,
we're seeking.
Happen. When we leave here, we're going to have an investor. We're looking for investors here. Like that's what I feel, like the statement looking for investors and meeting investors. So the way he said meeting with investors at least gives you the option that it's like, all right, we're just meeting with them, but that's not like 100% thing that's going to happen, right? But yeah, so on to what Real Easy was saying and the 30 mentions of esports teams. What are you guys' thoughts about that?
Hold on, before we start, I didn't realize Baylix was this short. We're gonna talk Baylix.
Okay. That short, maybe Ryan that
maybe
tall.
Ryan's that.
That's true. What if Ryan's like 6'5" and nobody fucking knows?
Why you gotta fucking Baylix like that?
Camera angles are important. We know that as streamers.
Maybe Ryan's standing on something right now. You don't know. Maybe he's wearing high heels. Maybe he's doing some cosplay shit.
Maybe his Gene Simmons platform is on. We do.
Oh,
he
man.
does like playing the bass guitar, right? That's what he plays, I think it is. So if he's playing guitar, maybe he's got that Gene Simmons demon platformer.
Is it me or did he cut his beard for the event? Wasn't that beard longer?
No, he cut this beard before that.
Oh, okay. All right. That might have just been me. Much love, Balix. Stay growing. Anyway.
Wait, you talking about Ryan or Balix for the beard cutting? I'm talking about Ryan for the beard cutting.
Yeah, I was talking about Ryan.
Okay.
Oh, I'm just messing with my boy. Balix.
Yeah.
So let's address Real Easy's comments directly first, right? They apparently have an esports team formed already because they did specifically say, "Come fight our esports team, try to beat them," sort of vibe, right? Again, I think this is him just ad-libbing because we just had Easy Ed's tournament around the corner. It was fun. There was a lot of teams in there, very good team comps, etc. Right? And of course, like when there are tournaments, and we've had other tournaments with Fault in the past, right? Hosted by multiple different people. But I think he's just trying to incite that competitive side.
Yeah.
Like I've told you guys before,
That's what I got from it.
like you guys know my little brother, he's like, hey, unless there's ranked, I ain't doing shit. Like I'm not doing it. Not at all. The moment that Latin heard that there's active tournaments planning and with rewards and stuff like that, he re-downloaded the game. He's playing it again. Like that is enough to draw a specific crowd. I don't know if that's what you want to compose as your main crowd.
Anything, but I don't agree with you.
You don't agree with me?
Of
What?
just ad-libbing. I don't think it's ad-libbing.
Oh,
They
okay.
do market themselves as a competitive MOBA. They really stress that they are competitive in that sense. So throwing out the esports team might be just the kind of something to entice the competitive people like your little brother Windu.
Like there might be
that's probably
Smite esports teams that might come over, or League of Legends, or like Paladins esports teams. Like I think that's specifically just bait on the camera, trying to get other esports teams to get involved and bring in their fans and bring in their followers and etc.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's ad lib, but I think it's also planned. Like it's a deliberate drop to get people in, to get people interested in the game, to let people know that they want to be a competitive game. So I don't know. You guys ready to get into the patch notes?
I before we go to that, I'm in my opinion, I get all right, Latin, downloading the game again, but at this point in this game, like the competitive side of it, we don't even have a competitive mode in the game yet. Like we need to get the player base built up first before we start pushing competitive. And competitive, literally my first time hearing a dev talk in this game when I was first coming into it, they brought up esports back then as well. They literally talk about esports all the time, and that's something that shouldn't be like your main priority. That should be something that's like, hey, this is gonna happen, but like it can be a dev goal, like, hey guys, we want to get this game so great that we're gonna get esports teams out the fucking ass all the time because we're just gonna be that good. That could be your goal. But like that's not the main mention that we're going to mention almost every dev stream. Oh man, blah, 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 esports, or every time we have a chance to talk about how the game's going to be or the future of the game, esports. Like I don't think esports is the point of this game right now. Right now, you can't have an esports
Or the focus at least, yeah.
Quick. How many people are playing the game right now? Or pull
Just on Steam.
See how many people play the game. Like
We can't look at Epic.
No, you can't look at Epic, but I mean, like either way,
Unfortunate.
those numbers are not going to be big enough to be like, hey, let's have esports going.
I mean, so in the meantime, while you find that
as we're talking, 277 people are
on Steam,
on Fault Metrics. So I don't know. Yeah, that's Steam. Yes, that's only using the Steam API, right? But 270 people. So yeah, so that's whatever that's going to be. Like again, like, even we double that. Over 500 people is not enough. Like you know what, we got esports going.
if it is that amount, I don't disagree.
Let's get these numbers up. Let's get 1K. Let's get above 1K and have that be consistent before we start going somewhere. And even then, I don't think 1K is enough, but let's make that a consistent thing first.
I think it's just
That's
a
my
buzzword.
opinion.
It's a buzzword for SEO is all it is, which is kind of funny that they're considering SEO when they don't do advertising for their big patch, but whatever.
He said, whatever. All right, so before we go into the patch, I'm just gonna show them some love again on the Twitter, because they did say, hey, again, find us here, this specific area. If you can't, I find this interesting. If you can't enter the business area, if you only have a visitor pass, drop us a DM and Balix will come out and meet you. So this business area was specifically where like indie games go, and where like you probably see mostly devs, developers, publishers, and investors walking around.
Yeah,
you get me? Now I'm curious if that was a specific choice, or if it was like, oh, you know what, because that just leads me to believe all the visitors, the casuals that are in there, probably might have not gotten a chance to even see the booth. Am I the only one that thinks that from reading this?
That's what it seems like.
That's exactly what it seems like. And I'm wondering if this booth is for you to meet with the publishers, meet with investors, meet with developers, meet with all those, all those different things, right? This is your business area. This is, and that's what you're not going to have an influx of, just fans or community or gamers coming in here, right? So I'm wondering if they do have a section, maybe not a booth per se, but a section that advertises the game for the gamers who are just going to Gamescom. As they're walking through, they'll see, oh, here's Fault, there's almost like a science fair. So I mean, I guess it'd still be considered a booth then, and that, but like you have,
I mean, they could literally just have like you see even behind them, there's walls and posters everywhere. Even on the public area, having a poster with the name of the game would be like, okay,
a poster,
that's worth a Google.
Another monitor playing that same, little skit the whole time as you're walking by. You just walk by, you can see that skit, and then maybe have a pamphlet or something that you can pull from it. Remember, Fault or something.
I don't know. I guess that really just depends on their exposure there, right?
Yeah.
You gonna say something?
Just let it be known that I would not be angry if they were to get investors or a publisher.
Oh,
I think they need the money. I know that it's fun, that it's community funded, but they've just dropped too far behind without enough funds to be able to compete with the other games as far as skin production and just volume of the leaps forward that the other games have taken. And I think a lot of that is due to the absence of money. And I think if they had money, they have the talent that they could use that money and do some great things with Fault. So
forward hiring the best.
Getting some investors or a publisher.
Yeah.
I'm not against it. I'm not mad at it.
If they get more money, then they can use that money to help push out more content, hire more devs, hire more programmers and stuff to help pump out more stuff.
More skins, because that's what they need if they're going free to play.
Sure.
I'll tell you what. I can't with you, bro. I'll tell you what. Hypothetically, right? Again, this is no confirmation before somebody clips this shit and puts it on Reddit or some bullshit. Hypothetically, if they were to
my channel, if you do, just to get the advertisement though.
I can't with them. If they were to get any investors or shit like that, it would be extremely interesting to see them with that pipeline. Like legit. It would be extremely interesting.
I'm going to go a little full disclosure here. For those of you who don't know, Windu, Mangoose, and I, we have our little DMs for the partner panel. We have discussions,
talk to you.
The week coming up about what we're going to do about the partner panel, stuff like that. So when this tweet first came out, I posted it in there and we talked about it. And instantly I was like, I just felt dirty when that I saw the meeting investors. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, like this is not what it's supposed to be. And the analogy, me and Windu went back and forth with it a few times. Windu definitely being on the pro side of it, but I'm just like, I wasn't like 100% against it, but I was just like, this isn't right, And the analogy that I gave Windu was you have a grocery store that's, being built in your hometown, and they're talking about how we're only going to use local produce, to do this. And then the next thing you know, you hear they're talking to, a main, produce, production company from out of, state or whatever. And they're bringing that stuff instead of your local stuff. It just kind of feels like, wait a minute, what happened to being this? That's what it feels like at first. But the more I thought about it and the more the week went on and just kind of going over it and then Goose coming in and chiming in with the money situation and how it would be that way, it does make sense, and it definitely is something that I think would definitely benefit them and is better for them in that situation. I just hope they're able to find the investors that are able to allow them to still have their creative liberties and still use the community as the ability to like, hey, this is where we want the game to go, and not be the Paragon situation to where like they didn't listen to the community and then they only listened to the investors, and here we go, we got 30 different changes, and next thing you know, we're gonna have a Fault Battle Royale.
Oh boy.
You guys want to play Fault Night later?
Boy. Yo, chill out.
Fault Night.
Swear,
no,
if I see Gideon floating on a rock about to hit me with some 90s, I'll lose my mind.
I mean, I've already seen it in Subverse, and that's enough for me.
Whoa. Anyway, I can't with you, Goose. You fucking love that game.
I do love that game.
I know.
It came out pretty recently.
Oh, nice.
But look, so I asked them to show what the hell was on that table back there, and they actually replied and tagged me in it and posted it, and I was like, lit. And then I was like, yo, how do you make your coffee? I need to see it the Fall Elder Orb way. And they actually fucking posted a video of Ryan making some fucking coffee and put that shit on Twitter, bro. Like, honestly,
it's really weird shit though.
Right? What the fuck is that?
Take one of these beautiful.
They should have set it up to where it looked like he fucking beamed coffee down like Gideon, like one of those pods straight into the little basket.
That's funny.
Flashing.
But it is Ryan. He never would have hit it anyway.
2 sugar sticks.
Jesus, bro.
Dump those in.
I can't with you.
Starts to dissolve.
But yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Have any creams? So we're going with whatever.
Even seeing them do something as silly as this, like, hey, we're gonna make coffee the Strange Matter way. Show you how we do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we see more of that shit from them? Like, just, hey, show us you're real fucking people. If you're community driven, relate to the community. Look, I fucking drink coffee too. YOLO.
But
come get some coffee.
I guess you could do it. I mean, because obviously you got TikTokers that literally just film themselves all the time. But like, this is them together, and they're not together normally. They literally are all separated. Like, they don't have a hub where they're all going, hey, let's go to work. We all meet up at the brick and mortar place of SMS, and we all get to hang out together and coke and joke while we're developing a game. They're all literally doing this from their own homes and stuff like that. Like, so it would be just that one person. And like, hey, I do crack jokes, guys, but I'm not sitting there cracking jokes by myself as I'm making coffee in the morning. Like, I'm not, like, it doesn't happen. I'm not going to record myself like, okay, yeah, this is my normal situation. They're sitting here cracking jokes with each other because they're together. And this is like maybe their first time actually hanging out together, and they're getting to know each other, actually in person instead of it being over a Discord voice chat.
I do like when they do that, where they show like just something as simple as this coffee thing. It helps separate you as a company and more as a person. And as a consumer, I feel like I can connect with you, and that you actually are a human being who has, thoughts, morals, and you want your game to succeed because of your own fruition, and not necessarily a money grubbing company that just wants to yoink all my money and my currency. So like stuff like this coffee stuff really does go a lot longer than they think. And hopefully we get to see more out of it, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Bro, the moment I replied, I was just like, I wonder how long I can keep them replying, because even them fucking replying is post on Twitter. That helps their search engine. Yeah, the search engine optimization. That helps their interaction. You get me? I was like, yo, I wonder. I was like, there's no fucking way. I'm at work. I was like, show me how you make that coffee. I was like, there's no fucking way they're gonna post that shit. And they did. And I was like, you know what? Fucking kudos. Like, even it's silly. Some might even find it cringe. YOLO, fuck it. But you're posting. You're talking to your community. You get me? Even if it's a rare occasion like this, I'm not mad at it. Yeah. You get me? And I don't know if they would have done some shit like that if I didn't ask for it in the Twitter.
See if you can get Ryan kissing Balix right on top of his head without getting on his tippy toes or nothing, because he can definitely do that.
I told him
like a head and a half. I know, I'm calling Ryan tall.
Oh, true. But
Twisted now.
But no, I mean, I gotta say personally, I out of all of their posts that I saw, or the posts that they were tagged in, to them, even just doing the whole coffee shit was my favorite part out of all their posts, quite frankly. I don't know what that says.
Yeah.
Give you that hometown feel.
Right.
Now,
Can we talk about Ryan's hair though? There with that, that little video.
Ryan's hair. Oh yeah, without the hat.
It's very 80s pop.
He's got like a. It's like a. No, I can't think of his name. What is that when people they play a song and you get like, oh no, it's like a Rick roll mixed with Sideshow Bob.
Yeah, yes. Rick Astley and Sideshow Bob. That's a good. Yeah.
Bro, did you see in the video? Hold on, I just realized. Did you see in the video as he's recording talking about coffee?
Look around, see what's going on.
He catches himself. He says, "Look around, see what's going on," and he makes eye contact with somebody as he does that. And he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" They're like, "Hey, we're just making this random video. Listen, like,
See what's going on.
he's like, I'm very awkward. Like, oh, you're looking at me. How's it going?" Oh, bro, I'm telling you, it's hilarious. It's hilarious, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like Mangu said, that hometown feel, the hey, we're real people too. That shit goes a long way, at least for somebody like me.
Oh
Right.
yeah. No, it does.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good, and I hope that there is a point in time there they can get into a brick and mortar place of this is the SMS headquarters, and you're able to get that stuff. Just kind of pointing things out. Using it as reference when it was it before or after Mangus help me out when OverPrime teamed up with Netmarble. You started seeing those videos of all of them like working there. Like there's like a long desk and them working together on different computers and stuff like that. Just kind of seeing that stuff like that. I thought that was really cool. Like, oh, hey, this is where they're at. This is how they're working,
Yeah, they showed like an office and people like getting up from their desk, going to talk to somebody else about what they're working on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, seeing stuff like that would be cool. I hope that SMS is able to do that eventually, because I want to see stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool. Like, and here's like it'd be almost like you got the video of like Art Bang, him doing, hey, I'm creating this skin, look, I'm drawing this up and, little concept. And I'm going to take this concept, and he walks over to the 3D modeler and hands a 3D model, and all of a sudden, bam, it's loaded on his screen. Oh, let me model this, and it just kind of shows how that work hands off, that little, hey, this is how it works. Kind of like watching, what is that? The old show with the guy from the Slime Show. He, How You Make It. The video like that was on I think it was on TLC or whatever, but it's like how things are made, and you get
how it's made,
how things
the most like OCD satisfying sort of video. Like you literally sit there for an hour and be like, I know exactly how a hot dog is made, bro. Like it's the randomest of shit, and be like, well, I now retain the information. I know how to make a wind charm or some shit like that, bro. Like, oh my god. But I mean, I get what you're saying, and just to kind of give a shout out here, Foolish in the chat says it makes Ryan seem like a real person. I love this. Easy said they're indie devs. They need to show this more, show what's behind the scenes, stuff like that. And again, interaction between them would be cool, right? But even just like you said, just a person working on it, like there's quite a bit of content creators within the team. You get me? Like people that have made at least content before. Like it doesn't take a rocket scientist to get creative and be like, hey, how do I make me showing my progress on this a little bit more entertaining? You get me?
Right.
Even throwing that little SpongeBob 3 hours later, whatever. There's ways to make it entertaining.
Do you think that maybe showing some of the failures too, like, hey, Richter's breaking the game, this is what we're doing in the coding to fix that, and like you show the actual development process of how they fixed him or what was wrong with him to begin with? You think showing that would be a good thing too, or that might kind of leave a bad taste in people?
I mean, they could. Like I could even see them putting up a little skit.
Yeah, having a blooper reel would be fine in that situation. I think I mean, just be overthinking what you just said there. This and exactly what I did is I'm thinking like, well, you don't want to show too much of what you don't want to be like, all right, well, hey, that's how they're. All right, I see. I can decipher because you're gonna have people that'll like, all right, let me pause this. All right, I know exactly how they made Richter's poll now or whatever, like or whatever.
Oh yeah, that look for exploits.
Yeah, so something like that. Like you wouldn't want to give stuff like that, but a little blooper reel that kind of shows like, oh man, here I've had that happen or something. I don't know, but yeah, that would be cool to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll be real with you. There's also like, imagine when they find out what exactly is fixing it. Like if they recorded their testing and shit, and I don't know where you just hear somebody, that's it. It was a fucking tree or whatever the fuck. Like, yo, all this time, that one fucking tree stopped us. And not saying that it was a tree, but you get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of opportunities, is what I'll say. As far as how creative they get, how simple it is, whatever, right? YOLO.
All I can imagine is that the community saying, imagine losing to a tree and you're a game dev, and then that could just spiral downwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the patch.
If you lost to a tree, though, you'd have to get to the root of it.
Oh my God.
Jesus. I hate this, man.
Can we branch out to the patch notes?
Yes, let's go to the patch notes. Take it over, Goose. Jesus Christ.
Our viewers are about to leave.
Jesus Christ.
All right, let's get in. Patch 18.0. Content heroes, Iggy and Scorch. I am not going to read all of his fucking base stats.
Okay. He said that is too many bullet points. Fuck that.
So let's get right into his abilities here.
If you're on the podcast version, go back and watch the YouTube version so you can see what it is.
Yeah, right.
Jesus.
But I mean, people don't, that shit's going to fluctuate and change anyway. Let's talk about his abilities. His turret is on his Q. Deploy up to 3 turrets on the battlefield, which last until destroyed. Turrets damage enemies, prioritizing units. Iggy basic attacks. Turrets deactivate when Iggy is not within 2,400 units and grants 5 gold to the killer. Turrets are destroyed if deactivated for 10 seconds. Turrets take 50% bonus damage from towers and large and epic jungle camps. Let's just knock out all of his abilities.
Yeah, go ahead.
Molotov cocktail, his E. Throw a Molotov in a 500 unit area, slowing enemies within by 20 to 40% and applying burn over 6 seconds. Burn, you deal 30 to 150, 45% energy power damage over 3 seconds. Burn damage refreshes while within the explosion. Fireball, his RMB, this is completely new. Launch a fireball, exploding in an area and dealing 80 to 240. This is 70% energy power damage. His ultimate is Advanced Turret. Deploy an enhanced turret lasting 8 seconds or until destroyed. Turrets attack in a line, dealing 10 to 30 plus 15% energy power scaling, damage over 0.25 seconds, and slowing targets by 20 to 40% for 0.25 seconds. Turrets grant 25 gold to the killer. And his passive is Mechanical Ingenuity, gain 15% bonus movement speed while within the attack range of allied turrets, including Iggy's own deployable turret.
So yeah, I'll tell you, I think his kit is refreshing. Personally,
I like it.
Not even the balancing side of it, right? Like the little twist they threw on the Molotov cocktail, the fireball, the being able to throw the turret, still original to the core of the character also, while simultaneously is like, hey, his passive is movement under the turrets. So even to get away, you got to throw a turret to get away. You get me? And throwing one turret ain't gonna do shit to kill somebody. You get what I'm saying?
But if you have Mat Limb on, it will slow them down from catching you. That's for damn sure.
True. And utility gets so much fun, bro. Like you might not get all the kills, but having like Matter Limiter and Eldritch Flame, just like the constant tick damage and stuff, it's super fucking fun to do.
You throw fucking stasis on him? Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. Keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I think it's refreshing. I think it's just refreshing. It stays true to the core idea of the character, but also there's similarities with a similar character from League of Legends. So people that play Heimer in League of Legends might come over towards Iggy and be like, hey, that's the turret hero? Okay, I can kind of see how he might be based off of this other character in League of Legends. Like, it's good that they have some similarities to other turret-based heroes, but also it has its own unique identity. And the whole small turret versus super turret, and the super turret makes the other one stronger. I think it's dope. I think that was really ingenious how they went rocket turrets for normal turrets, and then the Gatling gun turrets during the ultimate. So they have both iterations of his turrets over the course of his life in Paragon. Sorry, Iggy was my first mastery. I'm an Iggy main now. Confirmed. Go ahead.
So I'm okay with this kit in what is going on there. What I don't like is his turret health. You know, his Q. The Q health, not necessarily how easy it is to destroy, or how lack of easy it is to destroy as a character, but like even though it gives you 50% bonus damage from towers and large and epic jungle camps, like when you're going to attack raptors or prime, I feel like they still survive too long.
I agree.
Like, and I think that needs to be changed. I don't know what the number is, but that 50% is not enough, is what I'm saying. It needs to be more. And even I think they're still a little strong as well. Either if they're gonna stay that strong, I don't think the 5 gold to the killer is enough. I think you should get more gold, or you should be able to destroy them faster as an enemy. Like if you're going against an enemy Iggy, you should be able to destroy those turrets a little faster than what they are right now.
Bro, considering that the turret scale in health with energy power is ridiculous.
Don't do enough damage.
They don't do
Everybody's
a lot
thoughts
of
on that.
They don't.
The big turret does. The big turret's enough to put you in your place. The smaller ones are more just a nuisance.
Well, you got to remember too, the big turret also enhances the smaller one. So the smaller turrets are more for zoning. Well, you see on the ultimate, it says, oh no, maybe I'm just reading it wrong. Turrets attack in a line because it says multiple, plural, S. Yeah. You feel me? It says deploy the enhanced turret, and then right after it says turrets attack in a line.
I don't think they all attack it like that. I don't think they all go machine gun.
Oh, maybe I just haven't noticed because usually I throw that shit and turn around. But
fucking melting if that happened.
I mean, know that the turrets are weird with Prime though. When you throw the turrets down for Prime, some of the Prime's attacks that he sends out to defend don't hit the turrets. I think he has to individually swing at them with his hands for it to count. But like the beams he sends out that do the majority of your health bar don't affect them. And
no, that's not true. You could. I've thrown a turret. I've thrown turrets down, and the little rockets that he throws in the air that kind of chase people, and it hits the individuals. So I literally had just me and a carry there, and 2 people taking that chunk hurts a lot, right? Like that'll chunk you. But I was able to throw all 3 of my turrets and my ult down fast enough to where he did the rockets. It got distributed between everybody that was in the pit. So we all barely took damage. And literally, since it was distributed between 6 right there, even the turrets survived it. And then I didn't know
it had limited projectiles. I thought no matter what, it was a flat damage across everybody.
No, it's
limited projectiles spread out.
So it's a damage that gets distributed between the number of people there. So the less people are there. So if you try to solo Prime, that's a bigger chunk of health that you're about to take. But when your whole team is there, it distributes it and everybody survives. That's why it's supposed to be team objective. But honestly, again, the fact that his turrets scale with energy power on health, like bro, you could be building full damage Iggy and you're making his turrets tanky as shit. I don't necessarily agree with that. There should be something that they could probably build in order to buff that, right? Like maybe if you build health, like if you decide to go tank Iggy, right? If the more health you build, the more your health also scales or something. But scaling it off of energy power seems a little off to me, considering it already naturally scales as well. And quite frankly,
it scales off health.
No, I'm saying they should instead of energy power. Like if you want to make a tank turret, you should be building tank Iggy. You get me?
Okay, gotcha. All right, Real Easy says big turret is tower destroyer. Literally throw down all turrets with your minions, and then throw the big one, and goodbye tower. I haven't seen anybody try that. I haven't played much Iggy because I'm still trying to get my Twin Blast mastery done so I can get all my ADCs done. But so has anybody done that? Like, are you literally just melting tower guaranteed?
The tower the tower focuses the turrets as soon as the turret hits it. While the tower is focusing the turrets, again, they're tanky, and the ultimate one is even tankier. The turret will actually, the tower will focus the little turrets. Your minion wave goes untouched. Next thing you know, you can literally sit there and have 2 minion waves constantly throwing turrets. I took the solo lane T1 in 8 minutes against the Boris.
Just because you were level 6.
As soon as I hit level 6, it got a lot easier. But yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an objective king. I've noticed when you have Iggy in the solo
what's
lane,
going on?
you don't lose the tower. If your Iggy loses the tower, he must be trying him out for the first time. Iggy is
he can hold the lane.
Push the lane completely, but he will absolutely hold it. And then until he gets to the point where level 16, I think that's the earliest I've seen where he can actually solo prime by himself at level 16.
So
I think it's depending
on the build and how far you are.
Because I only dabbled with it in PvE. I was going against bots, right? So obviously it depends on your team scaling and all that stuff. But I was level 14. I can't tell you what the build I had. I don't know what was going on, but like I went and soloed Prime by myself with level 14 Iggy.
And be mindful, the ultimate turret starts at 750, and then it adds another 44 health per hero level, and then it scales from 25 all the way to 250% of the energy power that you've built. So you're building like that turret will have more health than you at one point in the game.
Yeah.
Building full damage. And that's why, like, you throw that ultimate down there, bro, by the time OverPrime kills that ultimate turret, bro, like, trust me, you've melted that shit down quite a bit. Like, I just think the health scaling, if they removed the health scaling off of energy power and just left it natural scaling, I think that would balance it out much, much more.
What about Paragon went through a couple iterations of his turrets where you had pips and then you had health.
What is a pip? Explain that to me, please, guys. I've seen
the
reference in the tester.
No matter how many times you hit it 4 times. Doesn't matter how hard you hit it 4 times.
Like a hit counter.
Or like 5
instead of a health bar.
Okay.
So
is pip an acronym?
No, just like a pip, like a little pip of damage.
Okay, that's I have like. Gotcha.
I heard that. Oh,
but like in Paragon, like Gadget was really good at destroying his shit early. The Fae was really good at destroying his shit early, but I'm kind of okay with that because that's like, I think it's fine to have counters. And it also they're wasting their mana if they're using their big a major ability just to kill a turret, you know what I mean? So it's kind of whatever. But when you do it the health way, it makes it extremely difficult to kill them early, but then like an ADC could just one shot them late game. Like I mean, they're absolutely nothing.
Even currently, because you got to be mindful, the turrets have very, very minimal armor, right? The moment a carry has like Titan Slayer, those turrets get melted. Like, I've seen turrets legit go up to the ultimate turret at full build and just 3-shot that bitch. Because with almost 0 armor, not perfectly 0, like, let's have 30 armor at the end of the game, right? With only 30 armor, and I've got my carry building pen and all this shit, he literally just 2-3 shots that turret. So carries are a perfect counter towards Iggy turrets. I just don't think
turrets,
yeah, I just don't think people do it.
Fucked up.
The carry?
Well, what I like about a carry and the ability with his turrets is you're able to attack his turrets before you don't.
Yeah, the range is shorter.
Yeah, you can attack his turrets and not actually get touched by it. The problem is like early game, and I guess I haven't really paid attention late game shooting his turrets, but because I still feel like I'm shooting his turrets quite like I'm like, all right, let's get this thing out of here. You know, I feel like I'm hitting it. It takes forever to get it to go down. So I will see. I mean, I don't know. I'll pay more attention to that. Yeah, definitely early game. That shit sucks.
Well, that's the crazy part. Like I was saying, it depends on how fed the Iggy is. You get me? Like me, when I play Iggy, I literally sit there and farm like there's no tomorrow. Get the levels, get my items. The more items I get, the more of a nuisance those turrets are. You get me? So if you're a carry, like literally, what is it? I solo laned against a Murdock as Iggy. He fucked me up. Every time I threw a turret down, 2-3 shots, that turret was dead. Couldn't use turrets against him at all. Actually zoned me. And just even
extra gold.
Yeah, legit. And then even when I use my ultimate as well, and I'm like, okay, maybe now I can do something. Like early game Iggy kind of sucks balls, bro. Like early game Iggy is weak, bro. Like it's to the point that an early game Murdock was doing more damage than me as an early game Iggy. Talking about like no items equipped. So he's definitely good at zoning. He's definitely good at holding towers. But he scales very aggressively, but early game he's just not that good, bro. Like if you can gank an Iggy once or twice early, you just set him back so fucking far. It's unreal, like legit.
He's strong right now, though. I mean, I think we all expected him to be a little overtuned when he first dropped, and he is a little overtuned.
Mhm. Current issue with SMS is when they come out with a new hero, it tends to be busted. I mean, you look at Fang Mao, he was very dominant when he came out. I was expecting that from Iggy. I was very surprised to see that he is a threat, but I think he's more of a threat on objective based things as opposed to just being a team shredder and just shredding two teams. So
Going to the next.
Real quick, you did say that it's like a normal thing for SMS, but I think that's a normal thing for MOBAs in general.
it does.
Not
help-
not
it
very
help
many
promote the game.
MOBAs come out, and not have somebody that's
MOBAs,
a little
fighting games,
overtuned.
Yes.
any
Yep.
competitive hero-based game.
It does help draw people in for sure.
This one's a big one. Game mechanics, general, lane minion, basic attack, execute. After looking at lots of data from both new and current players, we have found that last hitting in our game is a much harder thing than expected. Although last hitting is a skill, we have not intended it for it to be as hard as it currently is. And believe a part of this also comes from the game just being harder in general to focus on due to its third-person nature. To try to lessen the difficulty of last hitting, we are looking to implement a basic attack execute feature that should help heroes with a low basic attack damage to still be able to last hit past the early game. We also have changed the minion health bars to better show the total amount of health the minions have left, as the current curved health bars do seem to obscure how much total health minions may actually have.
All right. So to give you some stats, I did get some stats, or a stat from one of the devs. The entire player base, everybody together, entire player base, CS per minute is at 3.04. All right. Per minute.
In a whole minute, only 3 minion kills.
Oh, that's me learning how to stack Sev right there.
So that's
all me.
So that's putting the masters, the greatest players in this game, in this stat as well, and they're not even able to help put the boost that number.
They
up
pushed it barely over 3.
right. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's the entire player base. So that right there, and what you're supposed to, like, I think perfect CS is 10, right? 10
Yes.
per minute. So we're not even halfway there. And so to me, looking at that stat, like this is needed. Like maybe not an execute per se, but like an actual just what is it,
Like that little the little border that pops up around the corners or something, like just like an indicator.
to let you know, just an indicator, like not an execute, because obviously this is at 15%. I think if we scroll
Yes.
down and make us talk about it, minions under 15% health will now automatically be executed. So instead of being 15%, whatever it is, just have it be like, hey, your basic attack right now will kill this minion. That a notification, just that little border to let you know wherever you're at, it's going to happen, instead of being an execute instead. But either way, I definitely think this was needed for the newer player base, and obviously it's even needed for the current player base. So
That brings up a great question. Did they tell you if that also included support games, or is that just across all the characters? The supports would definitely lower that number quite a bit if they are including, hey, how much CS per minute on average do Narbashes have?
So I would have to go back through Gen Chat. I know Arma was in Gen Chat talking about this before. He brought up some numbers, and he did exclude jungler and support in the chat he had before. But I didn't have those numbers. I have entire player base. So that might be the same number.
So I just think
I'd
it's
have to go
worth
back and
mentioning
look.
too. I got mixed feedback. I got feedback from players that have been playing this for a while saying, oh no, they're dumbing down the game. That's what Paragon did in Monolith. This is what's going to kill the game, etc.
Yeah.
But
right.
I will say, everybody that did complain, I did fact check them. Most of them can't even hit 3 CS per minute. I'll be real with you. I didn't say that to their face, but I did check them. You get me?
Right.
I was like, you know what? This ain't the time for it, but I'm just saying, like, this is something that helps a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, because even while playing, even people that have been playing this shit for years get into a game and they don't focus it. Like, I had the privilege of, like I mentioned it last week, I had the privilege of getting invited into one of the teams for the tournament. The team had a lot of new players in there, and we went over a whole bunch of stuff and everything, and there was a couple people in there that were like, hey man, I'm hot shit, I'm gonna lead us to victory. Like, you don't know how I play, I'm gonna carry you, Windu. And be like, okay, cool. And then we just had a couple matches, and every single match I would write down our CS per minute, just as, hey, we're just gonna focus on the basics, I want to see where you guys are at. And then we would play, and the majority of people were at 3 or lower, and that's pretty normal for the majority of this player base. It just is a fact. And it wasn't until I pointed that out to them that they started focusing on CS, and then you slowly started seeing them, hey, 4 per minute, 5 per minute, etc., just bettering on a consistent basis. But when you don't tell people, hey, focus on the minion, they easily get distracted. Next thing you know, 3 minutes has gone by, they've only killed 5. That shit happens so easy, especially in duo lane when you're fucking brawling nonstop. Like, that shit is AIDS in the duo lane sometimes.
Right. So I went back and found it in Gen Chat. All right. And this was posted by Arma. Right. All right. So here's the rundown at the end of the day. Last hitting wasn't that difficult for older players, but your average CS a minute was a little above 3, not including jungle and support roles. I don't think you fully grasp how actually bad that is. Separate 1700 and above gamers, and their last hit score wasn't even 6 CS per minute. So in other words, no matter how good you think you are, you aren't. Sorry. The mechanic doesn't lessen the depth of the game and makes it accessible to new players, and here's why. There's a ton of things players have to pay attention to even more so oftentimes than a traditional top-down game because of the limited camera movement and field of view. Helping relieve that stress slightly helps players of a skill level to focus on more important things. At the end of the day, last hitting is a chore in the game. You do your chores, then you go do the fun part. Helping players get their chores done faster doesn't hurt players.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah. So now I'm not going to put the person's name out here. I'm going to read something. He addressed a certain person, but this is for everybody. And I feel like some people who are so aggressive in this situation, and on any stance, not just this stance, it needs to calm down in this game, because I see this happening not just with this one person, but with other people too. So I'm going to be frank. I've been getting messages from players that used to be vocal in here that are scared to type in Gen Chat because you are so aggressive about something that they love and feel it was a great quality of life. Imagine that, being so aggressive about something that doesn't hurt you, that you are silencing other players.
That's true.
Like, you can have an opinion.
They're being Karens about it.
Opinion. Exactly. They're being straight Karens about it. And it's like, you can have this huge issue, and that's fine. Go vent to your community in that situation, but don't vent to the whole SMS community about this situation, right? Go make your feedback post it. You're good. Leave it at that. You know, continue going on. If you make your own partner panel and bitch on it that the whole time, you know, I don't care, you know. Well, you have to be partnered to do that. Make your own panel and do it, you know, to do that. You know,
a non-partnered panel.
You know,
partner panel
do
trademark.
that. But like, there's no reason for you to get that up in arms about something, right?
I used to have pretty hard opinions on the execute mechanic, but I'm coming around to where I just don't give a shit anymore. Like, I don't fucking care if they're in there or not.
I've noticed that, like, considering maybe it'll improve with the player base, but with the ping issues, I mean, I play on Eastern Coast and I play early in the morning, so everybody's usually at work when I play. So I'm usually in EU games, so I'm sitting at 120 ping at bare minimum. So this last hit mechanic made it easier for me in that regard, where I actually can see visually when I can last hit instead of learn where the health bar is. And like, okay, I have to think a half of a second ahead where their health bar actually is compared to where I'm seeing it. So the last hit mechanic does help with that.
Now he's got 3 more step stacks. He's good.
I wish.
I will say, I fucking love the new design of the health bar.
It looks nice. It's clean.
Carry forward to other shit.
You guys think it should go in the jungles too, like jungle minions, red camp, blue camp?
It should go in everybody because
they're just nicer.
It should go in heroes because the curved shit on the heroes, it makes you think that, well, at least it makes me think all the time that somebody is just one shot away. So I plant one on them and then walk away, and then they're still alive. I'm like, what the fuck? Like they're at one hit. You can't tell with the curved health bars because it obscures the majority of their health by being curved like that.
Yep. I like these health bars in general.
To me, a last hit on getting that health bar on a jungle minion, like to me, like it's when it's I don't know, like those are automatic last hits, I guess. Like you're not like landing, like those just happen.
They will help Sev Boy over here.
Buff Sev. He needs a buff.
Putting those health bars on the jungle minions is a buff to Sev. I'm gonna just throw that shit out there.
I'm not even necessarily saying have the little line or have the execute or anything. Yeah. I just want that design of the health
style,
bar,
that design style. Okay.
Because the curve throws me the fuck off, and it has since like patch 13 or something like that.
That's what she said.
However long that shit's been around, it's been fucking me up, making me think that they have way less health than they actually have.
So you're saying they last longer with the curve?
They last longer with the curve. I don't know, in my experience.
Do with that with what you will, chat.
With that, what you will. Next.
Never underestimate the benefits of a good curve.
Jesus.
Language support. Watch your language. The following languages are now translated and selectable in game: Chinese, French, German, Italian, Korean, Portuguese, Russian, and Spanish.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah. Makes it more widely acceptable.
It is awesome, but there's problems with it.
Yeah.
And they need to work on it. I don't know. I mean, obviously, there's bugs with things, but like, there's people who are having issues. Like, they turned it on, then they can't go back to English. They turn it on.
Got you. Okay.
And now, when they talk to chat, it literally comes up in that language. So now, so for
it translates chat for you.
And it just makes it so he'll read it. It's like I'm sorry, you're speaking German to me. I don't know how to read German, so I need you to so it doesn't translate it for you. It actually keeps it in German because that's what that person typed it in was in German. So that
weird way to
stuff like that needs to be like, I don't know, it needs to be worked out in that situation. But and this
a little bit of polish to
already, I don't know. This is just things I know about reading Gen Chat. I had somebody reach out to me, said, hey, there's this issue. I'm like, what's going on? So I just kind of did the best I could to help out. But like, yeah, this is things that are definitely happening. But it's great that they're working on making this support happen, for other people. Because I know not everybody speaks English,
Cool. I mean, I will say I just like the inclusiveness of all the different languages. Like, I know for a fact, like, for example, Vault has a very passionate, like, South America community. Those Brazilians speaking the Portuguese love that shit. Like, in general, there's a very strong gaming community down there, and including languages like Portuguese and Spanish and stuff like that. Like, bro, I'll be honest with you. You know how many fucking countries worldwide they can just add to the list that can now play it natively by just adding Spanish? Like, bruh, that shit's wild. And then you add Chinese in there, and French, German, Italian. I think that's big.
How's the translation? Is it like lost in translation? I know OverPrime struggles with that with Korean to English.
So there are
one person say it, and from what I understand, it seems like it's Google Translate that's using it.
Oh, that's so.
It's not even like, yeah. So you'd be like, this is not even what people would actually say in this language.
Okay.
So I will say
that's what I heard. One person.
I was about to say. So I will say that there are a lot of things lost in translation in general in the MOBA genre. Like, for example, I joined that Brazilian Discord server and I started playing with them, right? Like, I understand quite a bit of Portuguese. I can speak maybe a few phrases, right? Like, I'm very bad at speaking. But I can understand quite a bit. I can read it, write it, etc. But it was to the point where I was trying to communicate with them and I'm like, I don't know how to fuck to say this in Portuguese. how do I say gank in Portuguese? Like, that's not a word. Like, you get me? Like, you go to gank in the dictionary, you better pull up the Urban Dictionary. You feel me? Like, it's just very, very rough. And they literally sent me like this Google document that was like, hey,
Gabriel being one of the SA guys you're talking about, he says we use gank, and that would make sense.
Exactly.
Technically, certain words you would have, like my name is my name, right? You're gonna use, like, it's that you don't. There's no language for it. So that's what we know. Hey, we're gonna use just you. That just translates over. It's all. This is gonna be a universal name in a sense in that situation. But that is that name. But
that's where that problem comes through then, because to give you an example, I'm just gonna throw a Spanish word into an English sentence, right? Like, imagine you're trying to say I'm going to the library, but there is no word for library, right? You have to use the word gank, just a kind of similarity, right? So imagine you're trying to translate it and you're like, I'm going to the biblioteca. And you're like, what the fuck kind of sentence was that? That's in the game? And literally from the Portuguese community, they gave me a Google document that it was just like, hey, there are just some words you won't understand. This is the closest shit we say to it. It doesn't make sense, but people will understand you, I promise. And then there are just some words that you're just gonna have to throw that shit in there. And if you're trying to talk Portuguese and you're like, left lane, they get it. They understand it, right?
What
What
if it's Chinese and you don't have a phonetic alphabet to work with? And how do you spell gank?
Bro, but that's what I'm like, yo, I could totally see why sometimes it gets lost in translation. And at one point, you have to resort to using reference, right? You have to get used to, hey, it might be a little bit of slang, and that slang is going to vary based off of where you are in that country, by all means. That's like up north slang, like somebody from New York talking to somebody from Florida, talking to somebody from Texas, bro. Those are all different fucking conversations. You're going to get very varied results out of those people. But, I mean, for what it's worth, even if it's generalized, even if it might be a little bit rough, and even with using OverPrime in general, I just think it's good that it's there. Can it be refined? Yes. Is it healthy for the game? Absolutely. Everyone go to the biblioteca. I fucking can't with our bank.
Jacket says most MOBA terms are just used in English. So I wonder, and I'm not disagreeing with him. So I'm wondering if, so English, we made the word. It doesn't, you said the word doesn't exist. We made the word gank, right? So I wonder if Chinese, if they have their own word, but it's not gank, but it's their word that's gank or whatever that they have. I wonder if there is a symbol, because that's what the Chinese use as symbols, right? Am I wrong with that? They use a symbol that is their own symbol for gank, but it's not gank, it's their word, whatever that may be. Like you'd have to have them try to translate it to English, but then there probably isn't a translation to English because they made the word up like we made gank up, so there's probably all these different words. Like Gabriel says they use gank, but they use gank because they heard English. All right, we'll just adopt it in a sense, but I'm wondering if maybe the Germans use a different word. They don't use gank, but then again, you have these games like this, like the majority of these games are English led, we let off with English language. So then you just kind of like, as a German player, you're playing the game, you're playing with English language right now. So you just learn gank and you just like, all right, you just continue to use it. That might be a thing too, as well. It's a very interesting conversation. I would love to have diversity of people that use all these different languages and see what they say, but then it would be hard to tell because I would be able to understand some of them, most of them, all of them.
Some handsome YouTuber should make an entire video about how Chinese keyboards work.
All right,
amazing.
So the link to that video will be down in the description below. If you search Mangoose, you'll get a Mangoose fighting snakes. So we'll give you the actual link, the one that you
right.
Watch.
Next,
maybe time for a rebrand there instead of you'll be fighting.
It used to be just straight up Mongoose. So ability aiming update. We get a little video of it of Gideon updating his Cosmic Rift. Aiming abilities such as Gideon's Cosmic Rift have been updated so that the camera better shows the area the player is aiming. Some aiming camera curves have been adjusted to show better bird's eye view of the area.
So Mangoose,
love it.
Does this fix the issue of Gideon and his throwing his rock with stairs.
It improves the issue. It doesn't 100% fix the issue. You still get stuck in a few places, and sometimes your camera just goes like, whoop,
Okay.
Like,
Gotcha.
goes all wonky crazy.
The one that I really want to have the answer to this, and I know he hasn't had much time to play the game since this patch, I want to get Huddy's opinion on this. Because when you play Huddy and Huddy loves Gideon, but Huddy also loves to bitch about Gideon and those damn rocks and how they mess with the stairs or whatever. So I really want to see what his opinion on this. I want him to play and see what it's like.
I'll tell you, I've been seeing the effect of the camera change on Iggy because I've been playing so much Iggy, and it's a really nice change, bro. Especially with Iggy being so fucking low to the ground. Like when I click the turret button, it now elevates and I can see exactly where the edge of my circle will be, and that shit's not a day difference. I would absolutely hate to throw a fucking turret and be as short as fucking Iggy.
Or Balix.
I was thinking it, but I wasn't gonna. Oh, I know.
Kicked off the partner program at this.
No, hey, leave my homie Balix alone. I might have started this fire, but I'm extinguishing it. Give me the fire extinguisher gun. But no, I think this is a very, very healthy change. I can't think of too many people that might use it. Maybe Bellica Bomb, like the actual, throwing deployable AoEs.
Comments down below. It's going to be in the hero balance here to below here. We'll talk about it. Well, you'll see who's all going to be adjusted
true.
for it.
Yep. Directly below me.
Does his ability still have a hard time snapping through walls? Like I've noticed, like if you try to throw your AoE through the wall onto one of the statues from mid lane, I noticed like you have to
it'll get caught on the wall,
and then you have to walk forward like 6 or 7 steps before it snaps past it. Is that change fixed with this or no?
I think it still does it.
Okay. Again, improved, not fixed.
It's a good step in the right direction then.
Yeah.
Like 6-7 steps in the right direction.
Jesus. DLSS.
DLSS support added NVIDIA DLSS support as an option that can be enabled in the video settings. DLSS support is only available on Windows 64-bit devices. I don't know what this is.
I got a 1080 Ti, so I don't have the pleasure.
So DLSS, I can't tell you exactly what it is. I do know that it does work very well. It's almost like a hand-in-hand situation with ray tracing. Not that it's
like a downscale, upscale filter. Mechanic.
It kind of helps take whatever you're getting and what the game's trying to give you, and it try to help smooth out that screen, like the actual visual effects that you're getting. It helps balance that a little bit. Like you're trying to get 120 FPS, but you're not able to get 120 FPS. So it gives what the computer's able to do, and it takes what you're trying to get, and it gives you a good balance of that. Is what DLSS does.
I think you explained it pretty well.
I've had an issue with not being able to get 120 FPS. Ever since one of the optimization patches a little while ago. So I've been streaming at 59 or 60 FPS, right? But I had to stream at 60 FPS and have some settings lower, certain settings. Now with this DLSS, I'm able to stream at everything on Epic at 60 frames per second, no issues.
Nice.
Interesting. Yeah, and I think you explained it pretty well. If I'm not mistaken, it's literally like, hey, like the game is trying to output all this performance onto your screen. So it's like the graphics card is taking the scaling into its own hands. It's like, hey, well, you know what? The game is giving us 720, or the game is giving us 1080. The graphics card is lowering that to 720 and then increasing it back to 1080 and doing its own sampling in there to kind of just help smoothen everything. And you end up with a very similar image with better performance.
It does help with content creators as far as like streamers. It's less drag on your CPU. So
definitely,
it'll definitely help you on that end if you're part of that aspect. So if you are doing those kind of things, I would say enable it. I'm fortunate enough where I have a good enough rig where I don't really need the performance kind of optimization. I got lucky, but it definitely will help you for sure. If your PC's on the lower end, enable this. You'll get more bang out of your PC for it for sure.
And before you go in there searching for the feature and never find it, DLSS, if I'm not mistaken, is something for like the newer RTX cards and above and stuff like that. So you have to be like a 20 series and forward, basically. Next.
This next one has been very popular from the feedback I've been getting. Auto buy features. Recommended items can now be automatically purchased when entering the base. Items bought will be based on the current Smart Shop items available for the player. Favor can now be automatically be spent as soon as it is granted. Favor will be spent into the player's first faction slot. Both settings can be configured inside the gameplay settings under gameplay changes.
Mhm.
I love this. My only like bit of feedback here is I would like to see them have that toggleable inside the actual shop screen, UI screen, instead of in gameplay settings.
True. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Sure.
I agree. I think it was Predecessor. When you open up the screen, there was like to the
On
top,
the top.
right or whatever, you had an option to click on and off or whatever if you wanted that. So yeah, no, I agree. Having that there when you open up the item shop, having the ability to turn it on and off would be good. 100% agree with that. I do like it. I do know that there's some bugs that need to be worked out with it, and I think that's something they're definitely working on. Because I know, like when I was playing it, like you had it, you had your health pot, and it would change your health pot. Like it would sell your health pot and go back. Now it's meant to be, the way I understand it, it's meant to be like you have your small health syringe, you know, the little $50 one or 50 gold. It's meant to be when you back, it sells that one for an item that you can get, right? But then, so when you sell it, you get it, you actually buy a health pot, you know, they had the two of them. It's like, all right, when you back again, it sells that because
so it's just selling all consumables. Okay.
Just selling all in that situation, and that's a, you know, that may have been fixed already. I turned auto buy off, so that could have been like a hot fix that I don't know about, and that we just didn't have. Nothing's been said, but that's something that needs to be worked out as well. But no, it's great. I love it because it works really well for the new players. This patch here is great for the new players and onboarding and getting to know it, because you have the last kill, the last hit mechanic, the execute. You know, you have these two auto buys, especially the favor. It's crazy watching streamers. And you see that, you know, this guy's rocking 8 favor that he hasn't used yet. It's like, dude, spend your favor. He's like, what are you talking about? It's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm like, all right,
I don't know what it is.
You don't know, right? So, are you a cartoon? What's going on?
Anime Windu? Really?
I might have hit a button. Sorry.
So, but then you have, but they automatically sends, because people don't know what it is, so it's automatically buying it, you know. And imagine if that person spent that 8 favor, how well they would have done in that last team fight, you know. Interesting. Okay, so, but yeah, no, I like it.
I mean, you're post stream, don't mind me.
Windu is about to go to the AHA Take On Me video, and it's going to be sung by fucking Ryan Red and his
I fucking can't, bro. I will say though, like as far as the auto buy, I immediately went into the store and turned off the auto buy for the items, so I've had zero experience with that. I 100% turned on auto buy favor, right? Because typically, if I go into a build, I specifically have it in mind, like, hey, I'm putting all my favor into this. I'm going to maximize that one trait. I'm just one of those that don't split,
and that's understandable. If you use just one color, or if you only put favor in just one color, this is perfect for you. You literally just saves you the time. You don't have to do anything, right? But I'm one of the odd people that don't do that, and I know Bearded Viking was, you know, hating on people that go multicolor, so that just makes me the best beard. So it's fine. So. Anyways, you have like, I like putting so much points in my red and getting my attack speed up to a certain spot, and then I love putting the rest of my points in purple, right? So the auto buy feature doesn't help me in that situation, so I have mine off. But that's just the way I like to build my ADCs. Now, if I went solo lane, it would work great because I'm going to put all my stuff in green pretty much. So, but yeah, for the hybrid favor pointers, like this isn't something for you, but that's something that newer players aren't really doing all that well. You know, it's just put points in the favors, you know, and that's going to be help them in that situation.
Especially if it's auto turned on and they just don't know. At the end of the day, they won't feel like they're falling behind. They don't understand why. You get me?
Right. Yep.
I think again, it's just healthy for the game. I did see a lot of people start commenting. It's like, yo, what about those custom builds that they talked about a while ago, since we're kind of doing auto buy?
Yeah, this seems to be leading towards that. Yeah.
Like, just auto build the build that I want, you know?
Yeah.
Next.
Next one I didn't even know about until just now. Quick emotes. The first 4 emotes of a hero can be configured to be used with keybinds instead of the emote wheel. Quick emotes by default use the shift +1 through 4 based on the emote and can be configured inside the gameplay settings under key bindings. No real impact on anything, but I guess it's a nice little
You got that one emote. Yeah, that one emote you like to troll. Middle mouse.
It just adds to the toxicity of the game, in my opinion.
I was gonna say
it makes toxicity just that much faster.
I was gonna say just no impact. I get BM'd a lot easier now. That impacts my mental capacity. Like I'm struggling over here. I got people emoting at me as they kill me.
Yep.
Make it easier for them. It's not what I want for sure. But nonetheless,
people enjoy that.
People want their emotes, so they want to be able to use them when they want them. So whether it's a BM or it's a thank you for somebody helping them with something, definitely a good play.
True.
Optimization. Optimize the game's file compression in order to reduce CPU usage. This change to file compression will cause a large re-download of the game files on your next login.
Interesting. I don't think I realized the difference. Yeah, but optimization's good. I did notice a large download. It was definitely like what was that shit, like 10 gigs or some shit like that when you re-downloaded the game. But hey,
I don't know.
I'm not having any performance issues, so I'm chilling. Sure helps some people out there.
Downloaded while I was asleep.
Right?
A space ward though.
Space wards.
All right,
I don't use
want to
words.
point out. I just want to point out here, right?
They don't affect me. I don't use them.
If you use words, you probably get some more sub stacks. Just so you know.
Okay,
It'd probably help with that.
Freaking smoke over here. Okay.
I just want to point out that Windu obviously cried enough about getting a new ward skin. So instead of us getting the match apply option, hey, we don't click on accept the match button. So he won the argument of getting the ward skin instead of us getting the accept match. So
oh yeah, bro. Ward skin was so much easier to implement, bro.
Well, definitely easier to implement, but not better for the game. But all right, yeah.
Different department. Yeah.
All right. Where I'm dying from cooler. This is fantastic change.
Hey man. I'll tell you, like, again, like when I was with that team and we went over the fact of like, hey, this is how you ward. These are a couple good ward spots. There's a reason why I choose this specific ward. I'm like, do me a favor, come over here, drop your ward, and I'll drop my ward. Which one can you see against this wall? My ally homie had a bright as fuck neon green ward that he was placing, and he's like, bro, you can see that shit from a mile away. And then my ward, it still had the health bar, but it was a lot more subtle. That shit was purple, and it was like, okay, like that shit's blending in 10 times better, bro.
Pay to win wards is what you're mentioning, huh?
Yeah.
Nay.
Yeah. Sounds like to me.
Everybody can deward it, bro. Once you spot a ward, it shows up on your mini map, and they're all orange on your mini map. If you don't notice that,
hey, why don't we just make Balak sized wards so nobody can actually hit them?
Okay.
Jesus Christ, I can't, bro. No.
I feel like I'm not affiliated with these people. I don't know they are. They said, hey, it's a free time.
I'm not here.
Yeah, sure.
Oh my god.
Good. Move on to balance. Heroes Lieutenant Bellica void bomb her R&B adjusted aiming camera angle. So
I see.
just like we said with Gideon Cosmic Rift. Boris, this is kind of interesting, slightly decreased his overall size. Not such a big bear anymore.
I think he was needed for Boris. Like right now, he's pretty normal. Like I think Boris is in a good spot. The next one, I don't know how I feel about it.
Crunch, slightly decreased overall size. Base health increased from 560 to 575. Base physical armor increased from 32 to 35. Physical armor per hero level increased from 3.5 to 3.6.
So a little bit tankier.
Pretty large buff to Crunch.
Yeah.
Old Crunchy boy.
From what I've seen, he looks like he's in a nice spot. I've seen a lot of Crunch players out there, and they've been pretty impactful. It's awesome. But that decrease to overall size, yo, Crunch is small as shit. Crunch is grim size right now, bro. Like you put Crunch and Steel side by side, Crunch looked like Steel's little cousin that didn't get invited to the picnic. Like, bro.
That's a huge buff to Crunch, right? So his base health is increased, right, up to 15. His armor is increased. His physical armor is increased. His physical armor per hero level is increased, and his size is decreased. So that means his hitbox is even smaller. So not only did he just get health bar, or his health just get increased, his armor, he can take more damage. You're also going to miss him more because you're not going to,
fair enough. He blends in the middle of a team fight a lot more now, for sure.
He almost looks like one of the minions. You can't even tell.
No, I don't know about all that.
God of the minions.
He he was the least played hero in Fault, wasn't he? So I'm glad that there's some love. I think he's the least played hero, or one of like top 3 of least played. So seeing some changes to him should help bring him in the light a little bit more. I think if you go on the Fault page, they'll tell you who's the most played.
Empty said, I don't know if that's a huge buff. That's one Eldritch Flame tick added.
I don't know. I think overall encompassing. That's what I'm saying. Not just the amount technically, but no. Kalari's 14.92% pick rate. Sorry, Mangoose. And then Crunch is 19.08.
Oh, so just under. Okay.
So
just over.
For me personally, that was probably the biggest disparity between Paragons and Fault was Crunch. Just like a mental fucking, because I was used to. I remember being like very tanky in Paragon, and then he was just not that in Fault, and that threw me off. That threw me for a loop. So hopefully this will help new players coming in be able to adjust the crunch a little bit better, I think. Decker, her base health reduced from 530 to 520. Basic attack timer reduced from 1.15 to 1.2 seconds. So less healthy, and she attacks less.
Good, because she was a pain in the ass to deal with sometimes.
Yeah,
as a support, going up against a Decker support, and she's just sitting there throwing that fucking Q bomb at you nonstop, and then not able to kill her sometimes because that health. Yep,
that bitch is squirrely. She is squirrely.
Yeah, good Decker can be a serious threat.
Gadget anti-personnel mine, her Q adjusted the aiming camera angle, just like Gideon. Speaking of Gideon, Void Breach is R&B base damage reduced from 70, 120, 170 to 2270 to 60, 110, 160 to 10 to 60. So overall reduction in the base damage of his R&B. Projectile speed reduced from 3000 to 2750. His Cosmic Rift Q adjusted aiming camera angle. And Black Hole, his ultimate mana cost reduced from 120, 130, 140 to 100 at all levels, and will now appropriately show stacks on the passive indicator.
Really feel that Black Hole mana buff in game. I had the pleasure of Lane.
It's way bigger than people seem to think. Yeah.
Bro, I had the pleasure of laning against an exclusive Gideon main, right? Notorious for it. And I'll be real with you. I was winning lane up until that ult came through. And the fact that he was able to, like literally exact same items, he was able to clap and then use the ult for considerable amount less of mana, even while it got stronger. You could definitely tell the difference. That's like basically making room for an extra rock when it comes to Gideon.
So we'll now appropriately show stacks on passive indicator. So if the R helps with stacks on the passive indicator, does that mean you can also do a double alt? You could alt.
No.
You can use the ultimate as an in-between ability.
No, his passive doesn't affect his ultimate at all. Well, I believe what this is talking about is how many people are stuck within your ultimate and showing you how much armor you get. Because that's like the passive of his ultimate. You get increased amounts of armor depending on how many enemies are stuck within that ult.
Got you.
Now that's what this is addressing.
Now I do want to throw it out there. I'm pretty sure you can use his ult as casting an ability towards his passive, but his ult will not get reset because of his passive. Like you could do like, what is it, landing 2 abilities in 3 seconds. So you could throw 1 rock and an ult and it just reset the rock because the ult counts as the two abilities within 3 seconds. It just won't reset the ult itself.
But isn't there like
so-
a grace period with that ult? If you don't use that third ability after that ult, it doesn't reset the cooldown. You know what I mean? Or no?
No, say it again.
So like his passive is on the third. If you land 2 abilities, you get a third ability for free. Correct. So
Right.
if you
Well, it resets the first ability out of the 2.
okay, there's a grace period. However, right? If you let's say you rock ult, you have like 3 seconds to use that ability that got reset. If you don't use it, doesn't it go back on cooldown?
No. So it literally, you have 3 seconds to land 2 abilities when its passive is active. And if you're able to do that, the first ability that you use out of the 2 gets reset, not including the ultimate. But once that cooldown is reset, it's literally just bam. Like, hey, that cooldown's gone.
Okay.
That you can use that ability whenever.
Oh, okay. I thought if you don't use it immediately after, you'll lose it.
I'm going to need to test this out just for shits and giggles. I don't know. I've never included
Empty
the
says-
ultimate as part of it.
Empty said that last one is still badly written. I don't even understand it.
The will now
Come on.
appropriately show stacks on the passive indicator.
Yeah. Because to me, I thought stacks on the passive indicator is showing you because your passive is the ability to launch another ability, right? If you hit your two abilities, right? That's what I thought his passive was. Like if you land 2 abilities in 3 seconds, you the one of them goes on cooldown, or they both go on cooldown if you use both Q and RMB, right? So they both go on cooldown. You're able to launch another ability.
But
If you
nothing-
use the ultimate in that situation, so wouldn't that show? Would that mean that hey, you got your 2 on? Like that's what
But it
that's
doesn't
how I
show-
understood that.
It doesn't show stacks though. Like once your passive is off cooldown, you hit with an ability, you just used your passive. If you don't hit with another ability, it's gone. There's no stacks about that passive.
But you are stacking in 3 seconds. You got to hit 2. You're stacking those 2 abilities in 3 seconds.
Your first ability unlocks the passive. If you hit it, it slows them. And then if you hit them with another ability, then it resets your basic abilities.
The first one.
Yeah, there's no stacks.
Like I got his passive pulled up on here. There literally is 0 stacks mentioned unless they added a counter. And unless there's a counter for Gideon's, I don't play Gideon, so maybe somebody that's a Gideon main could educate
I
me.
didn't notice it. I dicked around with him a little bit this
But
week.
you got to think about it. If you got 3 seconds to land 2 abilities, when the fuck are you gonna look at the corner of the screen at a counter?
I don't know. See that's what I was thinking too. I'm so used to going Rift, Rock, Rift, Zerk,
Mhm.
and ult. Like I don't ever include that ult. It's always
Right.
the 3-piece as we call it.
Yeah, I use the ult to give me time on cooldowns.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. The fact that even Empty's a little confused on how this is working, it just says a lot. And that says right there, SMS, figure that out because that's not, we don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So,
Maybe not use stacks as a word, use
I don't
something
know.
else.
Maybe use Chinese symbols so at least somebody can understand because right now we're all lost.
I
I'm
can't, bro.
I'm about 97% certain it's indicating how many enemies are caught in your ultimate to show you how much shielding you're gaining.
I mean,
About
yeah,
97%.
possible.
And that could be, and that I would love for that to say that instead of being with, because like
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah,
literally
that'd be
thought
nice.
that's what.
Yeah, get a shield
Yeah.
based off of the number of enemies caught in the black hole. So maybe that's it. Maybe it just lets you know how many people.
How many enemies were caught in your black hole. Again, not something I would ever actually look at.
Right? Be like, I'm so glad I got 4. Woo! Like,
Now I know I have exactly
not a
this much
waste.
shielding and exactly how many shots it's going to take. Yeah, I'm not even thinking about that shit. Gruxy Poo. His cleave R&B basic attack damage percentage reduced from 110, 120, 130, 140, 152, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140 going once, going twice sold. Grux has
What
been
the
nerfed. Challengers Rage, I think it should be, not range.
Yeah, not range.
Mana cost
Hey, bro.
increased from 50 to 100 at all levels. Basic attack damage percentage scaling reduced from 30% to 20% at all levels. So just an overall nerf to old Gruxy boy.
interesting.
Yep.
Definitely a good change. He's very strong as a jungler before that change. I've been seeing less of him. He's still pretty strong, but have been seeing Kalari actually more often since Grux got nerfed. I think Kalari gets a little love here.
Yeah, that
So-
that cast time reduction that you're about to go over, big.
Yeah, I think his strength should come from his CC, not from just raw power.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Here's an interesting thing. Empty saying that he's willing to bet money that actually that passive text is for Grux. It's just written under the wrong hero.
You know what? You might be right.
But his ultimate doesn't show stacks. What stacks does his ultimate do?
It's a countdown. It's how many basic attacks he can fit in, right?
Yeah,
Well,
how many it stacks how many abilities he landed on somebody, how much of that extra damage he'll get on basic attacks because of the abilities.
And he's saying for Grux's passive. He's not saying it's for Grux's ultimate. Just that line of will now appropriately show stacks on the passive indicator. He's thinking that line should be under Grux.
Oh, like it should have been the first sentence on Grux.
Yeah,
okay.
It should say Grux is passive, a possible, a parentheses P, parentheses, and then give that line of text.
I think he's right. I think he's right. Kalari Assassin's Execution. Cast time reduced from 1 to 0.5 seconds. Her ultimate. She does it faster.
Well, that was good because there was issues with people talking about Kalari.
Forever to cast.
Like you jumped up as Kalari and you just sat there. And the noise, the ultimate noise already went off. So you're like, sit there, and then you finally launch.
You were bait to get CC'd if you ulted as her.
Yeah. Like, all right, well, we know she's coming. Let's wait. Boom, CC. So, yeah, that was definitely needed.
Sparrow, Hail of Arrows, or Q, slow percentage increased from 12, 15, 18, 21, 24 to 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Inner Fire, her ultimate. Side projectile damage changed from 50, 65, 80 to 70% at all levels. And Relentless, her passive bonus damage per stack changed from 2.54, 5.57% to 4% at all levels. So
overall,
bit of a nerf.
But I say early game buff, late game nerf. Super strong.
Mid game.
Early and mid game. Yep.
Yeah.
It's big. It's big. I like it.
She's a late game carry too, so
a lot of I've had a bunch of my viewers come in and talk about how she's ruined late game, but
So
I don't know.
What's the point of picking Sparrow if you're not going to have her be a late game?
Well, I mean, she'll
the hyper carry.
I mean, that's a great question. I think they basically made her closer to Murdock and Twin Blast, but I don't necessarily that helps for the identity of Sparrow. Because Sparrow was always that, hey, I am probably the weakest early game, but late game I will be the strongest. Just help me get there,
Right.
And it's going to be rough because I only got an escape.
I think that's why they didn't give her an escape, is because, hey, I don't have an escape. You can pick on me now, but you won't be able to pick on me end game. I'll just shred you.
Yeah.
But I think the escape also is now her Hail of Arrows at 40% slow.
That is true.
That's a pretty strong slow.
Big slow, for sure.
I've put mana limiter on her. No one's running.
No, bro, chill out.
Steel Force Shield, his E width reduced from 1400 to 1100 at all levels. Slow percentage increased from 15, 18, 21, 24, 27 to 20, 24, 28, 32, 36. So his Force Shield is a little bit smaller, but a little bit more effective at slowing. Shield Crash, his R, his ultimate, range reduced from 1650 units to 1250 at all levels. Radius increased from 440 to 480 at all levels. Mana cost increased from 80, 90, 100 to 100 at all levels. And I don't really know if this is a buff, nerf, what is it? Both, a little bit of both.
So here's the thing, like
it's
a balance. Like you can ult
the party.
Yeah, you can ult a larger amount of people, but you don't get that reach. Like you can't be like, for example, before a steel support could sit behind his wave, ult all the way to the carry behind of their wave. Like there was crazy range in it. Now he actually kind of has to walk up
and do carry. He's got to get in range to be in.
No, even closer. He's gonna get hit a couple times before he even gets in range.
That's what I'm saying. He's got to get into that range is what I'm saying. You have to get into range of a ranged character to be able to use your ability now. Before he was able to do that jump, he's able to I came and hit him, and next thing you know, he's gonna land on top of me. So that's
he had a way to quickly engage.
If only.
right?
Okay.
So, and then the mana cost, obviously, you know,
The mana
early
cost
game,
hurts.
It's gonna, that's gonna hurt him. That's a nerf there. But
Steel is very mana heavy too.
so
yeah.
now, because like I know as an ADC main, right? You're in there, like I'm on comms with Windu as my support. Like, hey man, shield's a level 6. Let's stay apart now. Like, well, now we gotta stay even farther apart because that 480 unit, like, he's able to hit a
little bit
bigger
more
radius now. So that's there. But the width reduce of the force shield, I'm all about that. You know, that can hurt actually, putting down and that, you know, stopping your CSing. So now I don't have to go as far out to get around to shoot the minions.
Yeah.
The last hits.
From what I've seen, it covers the entrance, pretty much every entrance and every pathway in the jungle. But whenever you're in lane, it doesn't cover the entire lane like before. Before you basically had to hug the wall to get around that shit. Now it's just more utility. So it's kind of like Empty said in the chat. It's a bigger effect to steal support.
Yep.
All
if
right.
you go through that shield though, you're slowed pretty good. If you have a sparrow and a shield, a sparrow and a steel, and she drops the shield and he drops the shield and she drops his hail arrows, that 40% plus that 36%, does that stack?
No, slows don't stack.
No, slows don't stack. It's just the highest slow gets
I
applied.
just want to make sure because that would be like, whoa, that'd be insane.
I'd hate that. Yeah.
All right, my bad. I had to ask that question.
You're chilling.
dumb.
On to items. Titans
We're already at
Fist
2:30, by the way.
speed. Okay, let's just hammer this out quick then.
Yep.
Titans Fist
That's what she
attack
said.
speed increased from 30 to 40 with a bend. Essence of Time removed energy armor, removed physical armor, added 65 energy power, added 15 CDR, added 400 mana. Gold increased from 2200 to 2300. Wither increased from 35% to 40%.
That's wild. Damage item.
Nirvana Jewel cooldown increased from 60 to 120. Cube of Balance cooldown increased from 120 to 240. Matter Limiter slow duration reduced from 2 to 1 second. Pretty big. Shiny Bangle base healing reduced from 35 to 20. Pretty big.
Yes.
Bracelet of Opulence health reduced from 360 to 300. Base healing reduced from 50 to 35. That's probably an even bigger nerf to steel support.
Mm-hmm.
Knight's Battle Plate cooldown increased from 60 to 120. Physical and energy armor per nearby enemy hero reduced from 8 to 7. And Safeguard Amulet spell vamp duration increased from 6 to 8 seconds. Spell vamp increased from 10 to 25%.
That's a big buff. For casters trying to survive and everything, that shit's massive.
I wonder how that works with Countess. It probably scales like crazy.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But she has to be low enough.
It's only active for
Short.
for that 8 second. Yeah, for that 8 seconds. So, bugs. Steel's Force Shield fixed an issue with an ability using the wrong values for duration.
That thing was lasting like 8 seconds. And
Oh, was it really?
that long? Yeah, that thing was in lane forever. So it's going to actually show the right. It's actually going to stay in lane for as long as it's supposed to, which is whatever the time frame is. You know, go look at the stats and it'll, you know. But that's crazy.
Titan's Guard fixed an issue with the starter passive not triggering on dot damage. So now that'll be a little more effective against that Morgesh in the off lane.
True.
Economy, pocket full of quotas, fixed an issue with the purchase quarters prompt not updating currency correctly.
Interesting.
Dash Strange Matter team.
I mean, I will say though, overall, I know some people have hated on the patch. I think the balance portions as far as heroes and items were impactful enough that I can tell the difference on a Sparrow and I can see more Sparrows, right? I can tell the difference on a Kalari, and Kalaris are loving it because they press the button, they cast that much faster. You get what I'm saying? Tanky Grux still doing a shit ton of damage was a problem before. Now Tanky Grux is a little bit more grounded. He's actually more tanky than damage, even though he's still really fucking strong, quite frankly. And I mean, overall, all the little changes, the health bars, the camera angle changes, auto buy. I think this was an amazing fucking patch that just had no advertising.
Yeah. No, the
there's a lot
patch
of
is great.
shit in this patch. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
This would have been one that they easily could have done a dev stream. there's a bit to talk about here. I mean, you see it. We went through that shit. We were an hour just reading and just slight commentary.
Windu, there's no internet in Germany, damn it. We told you this. They can't do a dev stream.
No Twitter posts.
They have a McDonald's. That's a lie. They could have gone to McDonald's.
They'll show you how to make their coffee. They won't tell you when they're going to patch your game, though.
Oh, but yeah, like I was mentioning earlier, we literally have gone already 2.5 hours. Holy shit. We didn't even realize how far we were going with all the talking we've been doing. I blame Bearded. So
It is what it is.
So let's do this. Let's go ahead and I just want to hear in general, like, what do you guys think about the patch and what do you guys think Strange Matter should do next? Just to kind of go through real quick. Start it off, Wolfie. Be the guest.
I would say great for the balancing, great for the new players. Definitely quality of life changes like the last hit are stuff that I personally prefer. I think are great. As far as what's next, I'm jonesing for them to show what they're going to do with this new ARAM or what they want to do with that, or whether it's going to be that one. I'm assuming the ARAM is going to turn into a 1v1 mode or maybe even ranked or something. I mean, like we said, we don't really need ranked right now. We need a player base before we can implement ranked. But I'd say overall, this patch is very good. It's in the right direction. And I think if they kept going in this direction, it would be beneficial instead of just like, oh, hey, we came out with a good patch and now we're going to throw out all this other stuff that is not really helping the game. It's more of just like I don't know. Just not. I do believe that this is in the right direction for sure.
Ooh, Goose.
I'm going to go ahead and start beating a dead horse here, and once again say they need to get themselves a public workflow management tool, not only so that they can keep the community in the mix of what their plans are and what they're doing, but I also think that they just need a workflow management tool so that they can be better prepared in the future for stuff like this patch,
And also be able to hold themselves accountable for things.
and so that we can hold them accountable for things.
That too.
That part's massive.
Patch is great. Patch is so great that I would have loved to see some hype for it. That would have been awesome. Where to next? I mean, the next thing that should be coming up is an esports tournament. I can't wait for that to be probably next week. I'm hoping. You know, we got esports teams going at each other, so we should have that. So I'm excited for that, and can't wait. I also posted Wolfie's link in chat again. That'll be in the description below on the YouTube version. So make sure you give the guy a follow. Go show him some love. Then you can see his wolf hat and onesie and all that stuff. Right?
Don't you dare come over here with that. No. My chat's already annoying me with it.
No, and I'll say, as far as my 2 cents, I just thoroughly enjoyed the patch. I had a ton of fun with Iggy, bro. Like, honestly, like, I'm pretty sure out of like my last 30 matches, 28 of them were Iggy. Like, legit, I've just been having a blast with the character, even if it's, you know, bad games, good games, whatever. Just been having a ton of fun. I think they did a great job with the character. Of course, there's balancing issues. That's going to happen. But as far as the character and the kit and keeping true to the character, missed opportunities for marketing. But I think the patch was great. And I will say, though, based on what we said earlier, I don't understand why so much was relying on Gamescom if they were going to be in the business areas that visitors couldn't get to. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah.
Like I there might be a little bit of fact checking there. Feel free to correct me in the comments or in my DMs. But as far as just that overall mindset of like, hey, we're gonna prepare, we're gonna plan for this, but it's to businesses only. I almost would have preferred them to hype up the community, do proper marketing, get the patch properly executed, do a couple videos here and there, and then show businesses how well of a thriving community they got. Because showing a business a tweet that only has like maybe 7 people engaging on it is not going to be the what to show. You get me?
Yeah.
But
You reminded me real quick. The one thing we didn't touch on, and that's another thing, is the master race for Iggy. Like that was something that was told in the last dev stream that that's coming back, and
it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
They literally said it will return with Iggy,
So,
and it didn't happen.
We're gonna revert back to the 7 Ps that Mangoose said, and go from there. So
Say them again, Goose, because I don't remember that shit. No matter how many times I hear it.
Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performances.
You are from Virginia.
No, the fuck, I'm not.
Yeah, not
West. I'm sorry, West.
You're from fucking Southern Alabama, son of a bitch.
That's Southern Georgia to you, okay? Aye. But yeah, guys, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. If you guys have made it this far, as usual, wherever you're watching, leave a comment or a message just saying GG, just to let us know that you made it this far. We appreciate everybody that tunes in live. We do stream these live on Friday nights on Bearded Wolverine's Twitch channel. You'll see the Twitch link down below. We do post these in video form on YouTube the following week on Wednesdays, and then we also upload them as far as audio format as well. Now, if anything, make sure you guys follow the homie Wolfie, brand new fall partner. Show that man some love for sure. Pretty chill dude. You guys make your own opinion on that one. Let him know in the comments for sure. But yeah, and I'm trying to think. Mangoose has his podcast For the Minions, and you still doing beta mails? You still doing that?
When we get a game for it, it's kind of a hit.
Okay, I got you.
Go with that.
Okay, true. So check out Goose's videos.
Chat if Wolfie should return to the partner panel at a later date, or type 2 if he shouldn't.
Yes or no? One for yes, 2 for no.
Whether I come back or not, I am not putting that wolf onesie onto the hat for the podcast. No matter how much
I can't.
people are in here, not happening.
I can't, bro. And then as far as Bearded, I know that man's got that TikTok like he's freaking eating Krispy Kreme donuts. That man's on crack with TikTok. So go follow his TikTok, #NoThumbnails. And as far as me, I'm just going to upload as much as I can or die trying. But thank you guys. Much love, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Empty said 2, I'm allergic to fur. Yeah.
No.